What's up, folks? It's your boy MMG Smurf here. In fact, let me go on all the way to the desk. It's your boy MMG Smurf here, and today we're gonna be running down the blockchain, doing my version of news, where I still, listen to mainstream news on occasion. I'd rather read the articles from different places than watch the news at this point, honestly. But still pay attention to the mainstream news at this point. But as far as actually getting more insider information on the things that I actually care about, I feel like the best news sources are social media. So one of those social media includes YouTube. What? No, social media. Yeah, YouTube's a social media. Twitter's another social media. Places like Reddit, but even less Reddit lately. Like I could probably get into some pretty good ones. Telegram. These are places where I'd rather consume some of that news, So it's my preference to consume some of that news. And so I'm sharing that with you guys on this new show, which I'm calling Coffee and Crypto Spaces, where we're doing spaces on Twitter, so Twitter Spaces, and I'm going to be playing the audio from a bunch of different cryptocurrency influencers, some that I frequent, some that I'm just finding for the first time, but I'm going to be playing that audio across cryptocurrency or Twitter Spaces for other people to hear, so that we can all hear about these what these people have to say about cryptocurrency and what's going on in the space. So previously when I've tried this, there's been some audio issues. I think after doing like 12 tests this morning, I think I've got it solved. This is the first time that I'm testing it with the live stream actually pushing out to destinations. Let me make sure it's actually pushing out to destinations. Before I had it live streaming but not pushing anywhere. And so hopefully everything is fixed. It was really a thing for anybody who's technical and trying to do this on their own. It was a case of multiple instances. So you need to use BlueStacks to do this. And if you're doing this and you're using the audio cables, then you don't want to also grab the audio from some other source, because I'm using OBS, BlueStacks, and then streaming it out. You don't want to add a third thing to the queue. It'll start to jumble stuff up. And I believe there's somewhere that you can fix the instance number in BlueStacks. I saw it during somebody's explanation, but I did not find it myself. So that's enough of the technical of how this is being done today. Let's get ready for the show, shall we? Yeah, we shall. Let's do it. All right, cool. So this is where we are. I've got my list set up. The first video that I have on this queue, and I could jump around. I might decide to jump around the queue a little bit, but the first one is called Weekly NFT News. And before we jump into that, I do need to have back on my Twitter Spaces. I need to actually make a space. And we're going to title this space. Add topics, huh? Trading spaces. Cryptocurrencies. Investing. NFTs. Oh, there's a 3 max. Okay, well, it's gonna be these. Cool. All right, so let's start that spaces. Turn my mic on. Gonna listen to the space from this way. Like I can always be double checking the sound of the spaces. Welcome to the spaces. This is our first. I didn't decide not to record this space. Probably should have decided to record this space. No, I don't think you'll go back and be like, you know what? Actually, let's record that. Can you? Sound effects? Nope. There's no going back now. It's okay. The stream will be everlasting on our channel. So if you want to, I guess I could say that throughout the whole type of thing. Listen on our channel. If you want to catch it. So, with that said, without any further ado, let's hop on over to how we're going to be listening to things today, which is YouTube. and play our
You should
video.
file a claim.
Unfortunately, these videos will be having advertisements because I have yet to figure out how to add an ad block.
What's good? It's your boy D5 Brains here with another edition of BitRush Crypto's weekly.
All right, and also we're listening to 2x speed, of course.
Let's get it. So we had to take some time with the family, but nevertheless, great content coming for you this week. If you guys are new around here, please consider subscribing to the channel, and you can click the bell on to be notified as soon as new videos drop. You can also leave me a comment below. Let me know what you thought of the video. Also find links in the description of all of today's news articles and everything regarding my channel. If you are enjoying yourself at any point in the video, go ahead and click that thumbs up to let us know you like it. And here we go. If you guys are interested in building your own NFT project or just creating some artwork and launching it on one of the networks as an NFT, you can get some great help in our Discord chat. We have special chat groups specifically for NFT art, smart contracts, and NFT marketing. So if you want to chat with other NFT creators about any of that kind of stuff, go ahead and join us on Discord, discord.gg/Abraxas, and make sure you follow us over here at Abraxas_DAO on Twitter. And we also have several of our own projects going, including the Crypto Pumpkins right now. If you own one, you can have access to have your character in the game, create like what special skills he's going to have. So go ahead and pick yourself up a pumpkin, get in the Discord and let us know. We also have several other projects coming, so definitely follow us again over here at Abraxas_DAO. If you want to keep up on the latest and greatest or be part of an amazing community, go ahead and join up, follow us, and let's get into the video. Okay, so first up on the news today, we do have Americana Technologies brings NFTs to the physical world. As most NFT companies look to turn digital items into prized assets, the physical world has remained largely neglected. Americana Technologies aims to change that all, however, with its innovative NFT chip that will give any real-world item a touch of the non-fungible. In a nutshell, the far-sighted tech firm has developed a universal microchip that owners can attach to any physical item, linking it intrinsically to the blockchain, therefore providing any collectible the benefit of traceable ownership and online trading. As a result, Americana envisions a world where any manner of item from historic artworks, furniture, cars, and even streetwear enjoy the benefits of NFT technology. Due to its innovative take on the blockchain, Americana recently raised $6.9 million in its latest round of funding, with key investors including 776 venture capital firm and an NFT trading platform, OpenSea. Still in its infancy, Americana currently runs on the power-hungry Ethereum blockchain. However, the fledgling company is already looking at more gas-friendly alternatives. So really cool to see here.
So just kind of
sell the
run
item,
different things happening with
has to be purchased on the blockchain and a physical item, and how they would keep track of that and enforce that. Still a little bit early in this technology, but I definitely think it's something cool here to see. Next up, we have Meta's Instagram to support NFTs from Ethereum, Polygon, Solana, and Flow. The social media powerhouse won't charge users
This is BitRush Crypto on
tokens
YouTube.
from some of the most popular blockchain networks from crypto art are coming to Instagram with the announcement of a pilot as soon as Monday. The social media powerhouse owned by Meta is planning NFT integrations for Ethereum, Polygon, Solana, and Flow. CoinDesk has learned. Those networks host the vast majority of trading in digital collectibles, with Ethereum and its board apes leading the way by market cap. The pilot will feature a small group of NFT aficionados based in the US. It wasn't immediately clear whether Instagram would support NFTs from all four chains at launch. However, Instagram intends to support widely used crypto wallets such as MetaMask. Plugging in their wallets, users will be able to provide NFT ownership, showcase them on their profile, and tag the creators who made them. So really cool here, guys, just like dipping their feet in, but basically giving us the ability to showcase our profile pictures or share some of those NFTs on the platform, tag the people that created them, all hopefully integrated, like they said, Web3 through the MetaMask wallet. I'm sure they'll add more wallets as we continue to move forward. But really great step. It also mentions that they're not going to be charging extra like how Twitter did, getting the Octagon profile picture that indicates that it is an official NFT linked up. I believe Twitter Blue is charging like $1 a month or something like that for that. So really cool also to see that Instagram's just going to do it for free. However, it is starting with just a small group. Really looking forward to this to expand in the future. We also have Data Labs to help Sony launch a 3D NFT compatible with spatial reality display. The spatial reality display lets people view non-fungible tokens in 3D without the need for 3D glasses. Japanese conglomerate Sony Electronics collaborates with blockchain video delivery network Data Labs to launch non-fungible tokens that can be viewed in mixed reality through Sony's spatial reality display, a monitor that lets people perceive things in 3D without traditional 3D accessories. The spatial reality display tracks eye movement and adjusts the display as the viewer moves, giving users a 3D viewing experience. So what I kind of like think of when I hear this is like, from Star Wars, they have the little hollow thing, they pick it up and it's a little 3D like hologram of whoever's talking or whatever like that, like a spinning asset, maybe an NFT. I'm not sure if that's where they're going with this, but that's just where my mind goes when I start to hear this stuff. So really cool to see big brands like Data Labs, and obviously Sony is an absolute giant in the entertainment industry, partnering up to try to bring us some of this high-tech futuristic stuff in 3D. I'm sure there'll be more news on this in the future, and we'll definitely be covering it as it does look like something of interest. And moving on, now your tattoo can live forever thanks to NFTs. So previously, you get a tattoo, it obviously dies when you die.
I feel like it had the issue.
Now they're having NFT tattoos that will actually live on long after you're gone on the blockchain.
The thing with this is, if it starts to do this cutting in and out thing, that means it's got an issue. There's no way to fix this issue other than to restart the space. No way that I found at least. So I'm going to copy. Try to copy the name of the space. All right. And back at it again with the white fans for Spaces take number 2. So I think it was due to me messing with the audio, the way that I was doing the audio. and that caused some issues, or not the audio, the screen size.
Cool here. NFTs have enabled artists to interact closely with their audience, develop their own communities, exercise ownership of their work, and generate a fair amount of live selling art without middlemen. The unprecedented rise of NFTs in the post-pandemic years has strengthened the crypto market and empowered painters, animators, independent musicians, and various other artists across the globe. Now the next stop for NFTs is the tattoo industry. American tattoo artist Scott Campbell, who has tattooed celebrities including Robert Downey Jr., Courtney Love, Howard Stern, has joined hands with the design studio Cathedral to bring NFTs into the world of ink. On Friday, May 6th at 3 p.m., Campbell and Cathedral are launching a unique NFT gallery named the Scab Shop. As part of Season 1 release, the gallery will auction off tattoo designs from 12 experienced and highly talented tattoo artists as one of NFTs throughout May and June. So this is already launched here by the time you guys are seeing this. Really seems kind
of... Oh, shit. I totally messed that up.
Pay a 1% listing fee and save thousands when...
I'm going to go forward to the next video, which is going to be Carl from the Moon.
Hello guys and welcome to the Moon. My name is Carl and I'm going to bring you this cryptocurrency video. The video I made earlier today went completely viral where I said I just lost $1.6 million in Luna. The video has close to 100,000 views now just after a few hours. Crazy. Thank you for the support, guys. And yes, it is true. I lost $1.6 million worth of Luna today because the price just went straight down. We're all in the same boat here, guys. Many of us lost money today. If you didn't lose money in Luna, you lost money somewhere else because everything's crashing.
So for those that don't know Carl is known as, I believe, the youngest crypto, I want to say billionaire? It might be just, I think it's billionaire. It might just be millionaire, but he's really wealthy.
I want to take a look at some charts. I'm going to talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Luna and UST and all that stuff. But first, I want to tell you that actually I bought back in a little bit into Luna now. Or actually I added to my position. So essentially, I put in more than $100,000. I think $150,000 on Bybit. I bought, if you go to Bybit, you can also buy Luna. And what I did was I put in $150,000 at these levels because if Luna comes back, then I can recoup some of my losses. So right now you can see that Terra Luna is right now at $2.3. I started adding in at $1.3. I bought like $34,000 down there. And then right now, just 3-4 minutes ago, I bought another $150,000 worth approximately of Terra Luna. Because if we do go back up to any kind of decent level, then maybe I can recoup some of these losses. But look at this, guys, 90% down. It's just insane. I lost $1.6 million and that's not fun. If you also want to buy or sell Luna, you have my affiliate link down below here to Bybit. Just click this link at the top of the description. You get $4,000 bonus. You can use this bonus to trade on the platform. This is only for experienced traders, of course. But yeah, if you want to buy Luna or sell Luna, I would suggest using Bybit, and the link is down below. And as soon as you sign up with that link, you will get this bonus, which is, of course, a valuable opportunity. I've heard a lot of rumors back and forth, but if you go to Twitter, you will see that Terra Luna, they claim that there's a plan to make everything right again. Who knows, guys? Who knows? There's no point in debating whether that's true or not, I think, because who knows? I'm taking a gamble here. I put in a couple $100,000 into Terra Luna now. It's a gamble. I know it could go to zero. I know that it could go up 10x tomorrow morning. You know, I don't know. Let's see, guys. It's a gamble. So let me show you the Luna chart. This is currently the Luna chart, massive dump, of course, as you can see, with both the support and just massive dump. Let's go take a look at UST, because of course UST is very interesting. This is supposed to be a stable coin in the Terra Luna ecosystem, but you can see that, of course, the price is currently 60 cents. We were even very close down to zero. It was down at 22 cents here, which is, of course, absolutely insane. Hopefully this can go back to $1, and if so, maybe...
So Carl's going to talk about the Luna for the rest of the time, so I'm going to kind of take over. Luna crashed recently. So Luna, well, the token itself, I didn't crash, but not Luna itself. Luna kind of crashed too. But UST, which is Luna's stable coin, and that crashed and lost its peg. So stable coins need to stay on peg, aka at whatever value they're supposed to be at. And most stable coins are pegged to the United States dollar. There are some other stable coins, or it is stable, in cryptocurrency. That are pegged to things like Ethereum, or pegged to the price of Bitcoin, or whatever have you. But the vast majority are actual stable coins, and they're pegged to the United States dollar value. Luna had UST. It lost its peg. About a month or so ago, Luna became very popular for their founder going out and buying a whole bunch of Bitcoin during their last dip. And letting people know that they were backing Luna and the UST with this Bitcoin. So if the price started to tank, they were going to sell the Bitcoin and hold the price up. Just kind of like how we were supposed to do with gold, which is also funny. I got to make a video about this. I feel like not a lot of people talk about it, but the Russian ruble has taken off and is doing well. And part of the reason, other than like their economic minglings and moving things around. But they also decided to peg the ruble back to gold. I feel like I don't know. Was it pegged to USD before? It might. Like the world was. And so, but it no longer is. It's pegged to gold now. Like every it's like 15. Is it 15 grams per ruble or 15 rubles per gram? Something like that. One of those two. But that's really interesting. So I'll skip to the end of Carl's video here a little bit.
And like I said before, of course, if you go download this video, you find my Bybit link right there. You have my Bybit tutorials right here as well.
Bybit links and stuff. We're going to move on to Crypto Mischief. Again, another advertisement, wonderful.
All right, we're gonna see if this is working. Can you hear my voice? Chat, you hear? Can you hear my voice? If you can hear my voice, then say yeah. Can you hear your voice? I think I've got this figured out. I think I've got it figured out. So, Justin Sun's back. Who watched this channel back when I was mad into TRX? Who was there? You remember TRX?
Having some issues.
Well, we're gonna do a little bit of an overview of the new Terra Luna fork that Justin Sun has been making out. He's just been putting out, which is perfect timing really. He launched it just as Terra Luna dumped that holy hell. And I don't know, what do you guys think? Did Justin have something to do with this? Was it Justin's doing? We're gonna find out all about that, and we're gonna be looking at how to get set up on Tron, how to buy this USDT token, and also how to mine it, how to yield farm it on Tron. So let's get to it, eh? Let's roll it. That's right. Alright guys, welcome back to Crypto Mischief. The first time ever I figured out how to go live actually. We are live as we're talking. So I'm hoping the stream keeps up because actually I went off the Wi-Fi. Now I'm plugged straight into the Chinese firewall mainnet and then going through them with a VPN. So let's hope it keeps up. So Luna, $6. Jesus. I think I'm probably like most of you where I was a bit like a rabbit in the headlights yesterday. I didn't do anything. I just sat and watched it and I thought, it's going to recover. It'll be fine. This is fine. The meme where the whole room's burning. It wasn't fine in the end. And yeah, we're down to $6. Jesus, I really didn't expect it to be this severe, but I mean from, what's that, $115 just a month ago, we're down to $6. Unbelievable stuff. And if we come down to the stablecoin of the Terra Luna system, we're down 43 cents. And again, I haven't done anything. I think what happened just now was that before my friend Dave was actually saying that he wasn't able to sell his UST, he had like 15 grand in it, and I think I've only got like 1 or 2,000, so not that worried, really, redirect. And he was trying to get it out, and I think just then he just said he managed to get it out. I think a lot of people just did, and it got dumped bad. Commiserations to anyone who lost a lot of money in this play. No one was really expecting Terra Luna to be a huge Ponzi, but it turns out it might just be a huge Ponzi. So the point of today's episode actually is to talk about this over here, the Sun ecosystem over on TRX, where we do have this pool, which I noticed just appeared, which is USDT and USDT. Yeah, I don't know. This is why I've never really streamed before, because generally it seems like streaming's pretty hard in China. Oh dear. Says I'm good now though. That's good chat. Haywire audio. Well, that didn't exactly go to plan. I just tried to live stream. I even hooked up my computer to an Ethernet cable instead of using Wi-Fi. I still had to go through the old firewall to China with the VPN, and it's kind of laggy. So we're gonna have to keep working on that live stream stuff. Need an even better connection than I did have. It's weird because without the VPN on, right, connection's pretty good, but without it, oh fuck. The Tron DAO is tied in with this USDT token. USDT token is a direct fork of UST that we just looked at, with the DAO being the reserve fund to protect the USDT token if it ever has a huge issue like we just saw on UST. So, of course, I cannot say that this is not high risk because, I mean, we all thought UST was safe. Now there's a fork of it by the Tron Foundation, by Justin Sun, by Tron, and it's offering very juicy returns on your yield farming. You can stake here. Now, the way that I do this, right, where I stake, is I take my funds from the Binance Smart Chain, or I take them from Phantom, or I take them from Polygon, okay, DeFi farming, and I move them into this, and then I move them to TRX from there, okay? And there might be another bridging method, but I like this one, okay? What I do in Gate is pretty simple, okay? I send in a tether from the BSC, so, I just copy this code here, send it from a MetaMask into here, and then it arrives, right? Once it arrives, I withdraw it back out as TRX. So here's withdrawal, okay? I have some tether here, I have $1,500 I've sent over, and then I will go to Tron TRC20. I then need a Tron Link wallet. This is my one here. Let me just send this first, I'm going to show you how to set one up. So Tron Link wallet, send to here, TRX. We will send 1,500. Okay, then I'll do all my stuff. It's a little annoying because it's pretty slow with all the stuff, all the codes and things you have to go through. It can be a bit irritating. It's not exactly fast training. Okay, we're good. Tron Link wallet, you can go here. All the links for today's video are in the description, by the way, so you can go to tronlink.org here, where you can either download it for your Android, iOS, browser extension, whatever. Works the same way as a MetaMask in that sense, that you just get a seed phrase, put the seed phrase in, and then you open the wallet. But from there, once you've funded it with TRX, which you will need to fund it with TRX as well, send it over,
remember when they told us that we were going to download Tron, get the wallet early, stuff like that, and there was a whole, what do you call that? Hold up, let me see if this switches my double audio thing. Yeah, okay, it did. There was like what do they call that? A giveaway of like some type of token or whatever the heck you're supposed to get for like onboarding people, and like I feel like they just never did it. So what it is, I guess. Anyways.
Gas in the same sense as normal. We have energy in the Tron Link wallet. So I'll show you here, right? So here we have energy and bandwidth, right? And these need to have quite substantial numbers in them to be able to interact with lots of sites through transactions. So the more energy and bandwidth you have, is the way I see it, then the better it is, because it means that you don't have to pay so much for transactions or anything. But if you run out of energy and bandwidth, you either have to wait for it to recharge, or you have to freeze or burn more TRX into your wallet. But you can also borrow, right? So here's Tron Energy.io.
That's the dope thing about Tron.
Energy, right? I do also use this for getting more more Tron, essentially, right? This is Bet Fury. It works the same way. I hold BFG token and stake it. You can come down to here, Bet Fury earn, right? This is actually a GameFi DApp, okay? Gambling. But I use it by holding the BFG, my token, and that means daily I earn these tokens, okay? And the TRX and the USDT, I usually move into Tron, okay, to set up some Tron plays, pay for gas, these kind of things. So we do have another 20 TRX here. And if we look in total, yeah, I've managed to pick up another $63 and 783 TRX. Wow, unbelievable. So I'm going to move them out too. So I'll take my...
I gotta check out how much I have just stacking up in that app.
Yeah, apart from that, you can do other things on here, but I just like how it collects in cash, basically. 0.3 DMBs, 0.02 ETH, have some Bitcoins, some USD, lots of different coins, just from holding the BFG token, right? So it's just kind of my printer for all this. So now I should have more stuff in here. So to get your energy, you're going to have to come here to tronscan.io and go down to resources, or you can go to this stake button here. We're going to need to stake a hell of a lot more TRX to be able to swap. See here, some of these are already sold out, so we'll come to this one. if this works. Okay, so now you can see my energy is massive. Look at that, huge. I believe it is that the bandwidth is for sending tokens to other blockchains, and the energy is for swapping tokens on the chain, I believe is what it's called. So but as you can see here now, I've just popped up so much more energy there with just 90 TRX. So that's me set now for what I want to be doing. Like $750, and we should be able to swap it.
All right, so good from Crypto Mischief covering this stuff. Again, there's some nice juicy APRs on Tron right now. So if I were to go back to this homepage where they're displaying some of the juiciest, it is for USDD, the new stablecoin. It's an algorithmic stablecoin. Usually they're like using something. I guess they're using Tron. Was it? Because Tron is the backing one for it. I guess because Tron is also deflationary. Not a bad idea. But USDD and Tron for 106 APY, USDT and Sun for 45% APR or APY. These are all APY. USDD and USDT, so two stable coins for 43% APY. Three pool split between USDD, USDT, and TUSD for 42% APY, and then JST, which is the initial Tron stablecoin. Actually, JST, I don't think it's a stablecoin. It's like USDJ is a stablecoin. JST is its own token that one day is supposed to maybe have a lot of value. JST, USDT for 39% APY. So all those are pretty dang good, honestly. For like two of those being stable coins, around 40% APY, and then one of those being Tron and USDD. And a lot of people in the crypto, like deep in the crypto, will like joke about the fact that Tron is pretty much a stable coin for how long it stays around the same price. Like it hasn't moved much off the current price of it for a while. I mean, like over the last year or two, it's like up like 100% because it was down like that 3-cent range, like before 2020 and stuff. But it's only going up then, so it's like okay, it's a really well performing asset. And since the dip and stuff like that, Bitcoin's dipped from 70,000 down to where it is. Tron might have touched like 9 cents or something like that around the height of it all, and it's like 7 cents right now. It's just not the worst thing to be in making some type of APY like that. If you're making that APY and it goes up 100%, then you're looking at potential like a 200% increase over every like year or two, which is ridiculous. Okay, so see if Crypto Mischief have anything else. I'm going to skip the video a little bit.
It already has $2 billion locked. Stablecoin pools have $355 million. This is still small fry. But compared to what Luna was before the expo and what Anchor was, right? I'm going to show you what the Anchor equivalent is actually, because there's the same idea, right? As 3 ecosystems work. Okay, there we are. My position, $1,498, so barely any loss there using Bet Fury to boost that up. Total staked, and we can start to see there that we are going to start earning Sun and USDD. And we can claim these out. I guess the Sun I can just take and continue to lock it up then to get a boost on my farming. Current boost, let's have a look at this. Boost calculator. Ooh, yeah, if I can get about 5,000 VE Sun in here, I can double my boost there. Yeah, I can get a max possible boost of 1.98. Not bad. So I guess I'll be just taking the Sun, locking away. I don't want it. So that is how we're working around here, right? We have a bunch of other pools.
5,000 Sun for that. I gotta see how much Sun I have.
Next thing we look at is here.
I like really sold my Sun like
for 0.04% and 2.3% JST mining. So we're mining this JST token, which is the equivalent of our Anchor.
Oh yeah, so this is the other dope thing about Tron is that they have basically like their Venus, or what's the other one called? Aave, like their lending protocol, and it's a pretty fire lending protocol. But you can see there, supply APY on Sun is 23% APY, borrow APY on it, so I get paid to borrow 9% APY. Just juicy. And there's some safer plays. There's USDT, there's TRX, there's BTT, safe by subjective. Disclaimer there. Yeah. But I'm gonna definitely check that out and see how you could basically leverage up, especially in a down market, in a bear market. Maybe leverage up and farm with that leverage. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I've leveraged up. Just for the just lend, I leverage it up. I'm like earning on leverage for a long time now. But here's that. I'm gonna go over this King of FOMO video. King of FOMO was once one of the most watched DeFi degens. Probably was one of the people to really kick everything off, but then he disappeared for a while, probably because he got really wealthy during the bull run. Disappeared for a while. Stopped making as many plays, but he's been back and making more videos lately. So check out King of FOMO, see what they got to say.
You always wear a suit to the dentist?
Of course, man. We're talking about my teeth here, my choppers, my pearly whites.
What's up, everybody? King from here coming at you with a daily crypto update. This is going to be a short video here. I'm going to tell you guys how I was able to just shortly and quickly claim $700 worth of free crypto in this very, very red market. This is sort of one of the only nuggets of good news that I can sort of deliver to you guys. If you've used your MetaMask wallet at all in the past year or so, or if you've used multiple wallets, then you're probably eligible to claim something for here for free. So shout outs to Julian.
Wait, what?
Page. You guys want to become a part of that Patreon. I can sort of deliver to you guys. If you've used your MetaMask wallet at all in the past year or so, or if you've used multiple wallets, then you're probably eligible to claim something for here for free. So shout outs to Julian over on my Patreon page. You guys want to become a part of that Patreon. And
$700 airdrop,
especially in the future. We'll talk a little bit more about that towards the end of the video, but shout out to him for that quick $700. I wish I could drop his wallet address in here, but definitely stay plugged in the crypto space if you want to find things like this. So like I said, without further ado, we're gonna get straight into this. I'm gonna tell you guys how to claim your airdrop tokens. It's pretty dang easy, but it is time sensitive, so you're gonna want to do it sooner rather than later when they flip the switch off, and there will be no more claims available. Now, another kind of disclosure here, guys, I'm not gonna be talking about the Evmos chain or talking about whether or not you should hold this token or what the price would be. You're gonna need to do your own research in terms of that, but this is just gonna be simply how to claim your tokens, and we'll leave it at that. So what you're gonna do is go to evmos.org, and if you're confused about websites, don't get scammed, guys. Definitely always go to websites like CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap and follow the links on there. I will leave the links in the description below as well, though. When you go to evmos.org, in the top right corner, there is a launch app button. It's going to bring you to this page right here where you can see if you're able to claim any tokens. Now, before you do any of this, and I recommend that you bookmark this page, there's a website called chainlist.org. So when you go to chainlist.org, it's pretty simple. Up in the top here, just type in Evmos, and it's going to bring up the Evmos chain, and you can add it to your MetaMask wallet simply by clicking on that button, and it will be added to your MetaMask wallet. Once you do that, it should show you can look at all of your different wallets on MetaMask, and if any of your wallets have, like, I think it's 0.0001 Evmos tokens, you are likely going to be eligible for an airdrop of some Evmos tokens. If it says just straight up 0, then that probably means you didn't use your wallet enough this year or all this year to be eligible for an airdrop. But however many wallets are eligible, like I said, go to the Evmos website, make sure that you're on the Evmos chain from that Chainlist website, click on the launch app, and you'll be brought to this page where you can see from all the wallets you connect individually how many tokens are claimable. Now, as of right now, you can only claim 75% of this amount right here out of 100%, but nonetheless, it's still going to be a pretty hefty amount, especially if you've been using your wallet a lot. So you're going to click on this claim button, which is going to bring you to this page where, again, you can claim 75% from doing 3 different things. The first thing is to vote on a governance proposal. So this is pretty simple to do. Just click on the button and literally vote for anything and vote as anything. You can read it, and I suggest you read it and figure out what you're actually voting for, but nonetheless, it doesn't matter what you click. As long as you vote for anything, sign the message. I don't even think it costs any gas to do that. It's going to automatically airdrop you the first 25% of your tokens. The second 25%, or the 50% in total, is to stake your tokens. Now, you don't have to stake all of the first 25%. You can literally just stake 1 token, 2 tokens, and it will airdrop you the next 25%. And you can click any of the delegators to do that. Again, very simple to do. But another thing to keep note of, guys, is this chain is not super fast from my experience. It takes about maybe 2 or 3 minutes for a transaction to get sent over and confirmed and everything. So do be a little patient when you do this. It's not going to be instantaneous at the snap of a finger. So that's the first 50% of tokens, and the last 25% is at the bottom here, and that's just simply using the chain besides the first 2 things. So if you send 1 token to yourself or 1 token to someone else or your own separate wallet, it's going to count as using the chain. It's going to airdrop you your next 25%, putting out a total 75% of your total there. The last 25% is coming soon. Again, I encourage you guys to follow the Evmos chain if you guys want to wait for that to come out and be alert about that. You can get your last 25% eventually when that does launch here. So pretty much as simple as that, guys. You can do that for however many wallets you have available to claim the airdrop. And I just wanted to let you guys know this because, again, it's time sensitive, and you're going to want to be able to do this sooner rather than later. If you guys are familiar with the WTF airdrop that I talked about earlier in this year, that was some free money. This is the same thing, some free money. And this is a token that is currently in or close to the top 100. So it might be a token that's going to stick around for a while. Again, I'm not going to get into the details about that, about where it's going to be, whether or not you should hold this token or dump it immediately. Do that research on your own. And again, I have to look at this more for me to figure out what the best option is for me, my own self. So that's everything for today, guys. I just want to give you another good news in this sea of red that we're seeing today. But if you guys want to join my Patreon and be plugged into this stuff, other people talk about a lot of things in there when stuff does come up, and I think that I'm not going to get into a big spiel about this, but I think as we kind of reach the bottom of this dump, eventually we're going to have a lot of good products on to come up, and that's when things get really exciting, when new products get discovered. But that's the video, guys. Catch you in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe, check out my Patreon if you're not a Patreon yet. Peace out.
We are farmers.
Hey, welcome back everybody to Altcoin Daily. Today I want to tell you about a really cool cryptocurrency product / service called Dorny, the financial empowerment platform. Learn about crypto, learn about investing in crypto, access high quality data and strategies, and achieve financial freedom. They have it's not exactly play to earn, although it is gamified. It's learn and earn. They have a marketplace and they have their own token. Dorny is a sponsor of today's video. Really cool platform. So big picture, what is Dorny? They're an academy. Learn to earn with their gamified app, gain the skills to become a successful crypto investor. Their marketplace, the first investment marketplace focused around the exchange of data and strategies for the cryptocurrency industry, and they are a wallet, non-custodial blockchain wallet. How does this work? Number 1, learn about the cryptocurrency industry and gain an investing edge. Number 2, participate in quizzes and challenges to win crypto rewards. Number 3, access high quality data and strategies on our marketplace. Number 4, become a creator and monetize your content on the marketplace. Tons of free information is publicly available online right now for you to do your own research. They have a Telegram, they have a Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Discord. I want to give you an introduction on the learn and earn crypto side of it, the marketplace side of it, and the token side of it. Before we get into that, let's meet the founder. I think this guy's got a really cool story. His name is Dadvan Youssef. NewsBTC.com had a great write-up on Dorny and the CEO's story. At the age of 21, Dadvan Youssef was considered Switzerland's youngest self-made millionaire. multimillionaire, all thanks to his trades in Bitcoin and Ethereum. The Kurdish refugee not only helped his entire family in Switzerland and Iraq, but also became one of the youngest professional crypto traders. His goal now is to democratize access to financial education to help others achieve their goal. Quote, I know what it's like to live in poverty, and be able to take my family out of it means the world to me. Bitcoin has been a huge opportunity in my life, and the good news is that we're still early in the game. This crypto revolution has the potential to be a great equalizer and give people opportunities they never had before. Bringing us again to Dorney. What is Dorney? Dorney's objective is to support the crypto industry's growth by helping investors invest intelligently and avoid the most common mistakes. Dorney focuses on two features, the Dorney Academy and the Dorney Marketplace. The Academy teaches users different crypto-related topics using a very gamified approach. The Marketplace lets users exchange and distribute crypto data and strategies. Let's break both of these down. First of all, the Learn and Earn Crypto Academy experience. Free crypto education, gamified learning, challenge your friends, and win crypto rewards. Want to be the first to try this? Join the waitlist. All they request is your email. Our academy defies the educational norm by gamifying the learning process. Our fun and engaging multi-level approach
so it sounds like it hasn't started yet.
Giving them the right information. Compensation framework powered by our very own token as the core driver of growth, together with the support of our community.
So, has yet to start, but cool idea. I'm going to move on to this next video from Altcoin Daily. This is Altcoin Daily we're listening to right now. This is called Shiryu, NFT trading card game. I've seen it before, and whenever something crosses my radar, especially the second time, I really take note. By the third time it crosses my radar, I need to make a move on it or decide not to make a move on it until probably too late. So this is the second time.
Buddy, Altcoin Daily. In today's video, I want to highlight a very exciting and very magical play-to-earn card-based game. Play-to-earn games are one of the next big things in crypto. It's a no-brainer, right? I mean, people play games anyway. Why wouldn't you want to earn some tokens or earn some NFTs while you play the game? Now, a good game is more than just play-to-earn dynamics. It needs to be magical. It needs to be exciting. It needs to be fun. Today, I want to introduce you to one of our sponsors, Shiryu. Shiryu is a play-and-earn GameFi project powered by the Ethereum and Matic blockchains with an NFT trading card game in development. The game takes place in a world called Edria, which is divided into 4 regions. Each region of Edria is a domain for one of the 4 elements: Earth, Fire, Thunder, and Water. This will all be a part of the Shiryu metaverse in the future. The story of Shiryu starts after the continent was ravaged by a curse that made wolves violent and turned people into werewolves, fueled by the elemental powers of each region. The ecosystem of the Shiryuverse revolves around its token, Shiryu, which is used as a currency for various actions, including staking, card sales, deck renting, game DAO, and wagering against other players. Shiryu's main focus is to create an NFT trading card game that will be enjoyable, but will also give players the opportunity to earn money while playing. Shiryu's approach is focused more on play and earn instead of play to earn, because the game's primary purpose is to be fun and not to be played only for profit. Let's talk about the game creators' objectives. Let's talk about the market for these type of games. Let's talk about the trading card game itself. First of all, the aim of the Shiryu team is to make a game that will not only be enjoyable for cryptocurrency enthusiasts, but also for non-crypto gamers. When looking at the market for collectible card games in 2019 was valuated at about $10 billion and is expected to reach $26 billion by 2026. The number of active Hearthstone players in 2020 game need. Great story, fascinating lore. Twitch partners for extended launch. The project do use 10% of the different game asset sales to buy back and burn the Shiryu tokens. A percentage of each transaction is redistributed back to holders, which include the burnt wallet and the staking wallet. All reflections from the staking wallet are going to burn wallet, meaning the circulating supply is decreasing every day. The Shiryu token is available on Uniswap, MaxC, Bitmart, LBank. The community is growing every day with over 40,000 token holders, almost 40,000 Twitter followers, almost 20,000 Telegram members.
So it might be a good idea to get in those tokens earlier if you're going to get a token. And just speculate on that.
Card will do for you. A lot of different cards do a lot of different things. Very cool. Oh, this one looks pretty neat. The Candle Guide pup. Anyway, plenty of different cards. Check them out for yourself, and feel free to farm or mint or.
All right, not a whole bunch on that. I'm going to move forward to the next video. This is by Satoshi Stacker.
Timing is everything.
I would consider Satoshi Stacker to be
Sales Navigator. Real-time data gives you the most up-to-date insights.
Somewhat, they're trader analysts, so they like to trade Bitcoin specifically. Mostly, and then they also like to analyze the market.
Right now, Bitcoin is holding steady above $30,000, but we do have some major events going on right now that is definitely going to affect Bitcoin eventually. And actually, later today, we do have one specific event you need to know about. This is going to be a massive event for crypto, so I will talk through everything you need to know today. So welcome back, everybody. My name is Cristiano, bringing you cryptocurrency videos every day, teaching you how to make money in this market. And guys, before we start, I just want to say that the Luna situation is getting completely out of hand here. Now, Luna is down to $5. Terra USD is down to 42 cents, which is absolutely insane. And for everyone who have lost money in the market, whether it be on Luna, whether it be on the Terra USD, I've lost a significant portion of my net worth as well. I was definitely overexposed to Luna and Terra. Of course, who would have known that it would crash this severely? Hindsight is always 20/20. But right now, if you are down a lot on Terra and on the Terra USD, there's always going to be a tomorrow, guys. So you will be able to recoup these losses eventually. So I mean, things are looking really, really bad right now, but things were looking really, really bad in 2018, 2017, the COVID crash. We've been through situations like this before. If you're holding Terra, if you're holding Luna, well, then there's always going to be you will be able to make up for these losses eventually. I just want to point that out in case you are having very vicious thoughts right now. But for now, let's talk about Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is actually
and it's probably worth about 80,000
there was a lot of speculation that due to the Luna situation that Bitcoin was going to crash as well because the Luna Foundation had a lot of Bitcoin. Well, it seems like the Luna Foundation did sell off all of their Bitcoin already. This was crazy, like 70,000 Bitcoin. So this was billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. Seems like they sold that off, and it didn't even impact the Bitcoin market that much. So I mean, this is cool. The $30,000, my red line, my orange box. This is why I've been telling you, like, it's gonna take something extremely extraordinary for us to get below $30,000, in my opinion, and that still seems to hold true. Now, on the longer-term charts here on the weekly time frame, you can see that we are below the red line. I did say that it's most likely going to take a black swan event for us to get down below this red line, just like you've been seeing here previously. And yes, we are having a black swan event definitely right now with the Luna situation. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy. The thing is also that the traditional markets are seeing a little bit of a recovery. We do have one massive event happening later today, and that is the consumer price price index report that is going to be released. And depending on the outcome of this report, if we are seeing that inflation is not really getting that much better, you could start to see Bitcoin and crypto go down again, because then people are going to fear that they are going to increase the interest rates even more. But if we're starting to see inflation start to slowly creep down, well, then maybe they're not going to go as harsh on the interest rate. So that is definitely something we need to be watching today. Finally, I want to give you an update on the Luna situation. So as you know, $5 on Luna, Terra USD is 44 cents right now. Now the founder, Do Kwon, has been saying that, he's going to put out a recovery plan for this. He's been saying it for almost a day right now. So, I mean, we still do not have any word on that. Meanwhile, the prices has just been continuing to escalate down. And the thing is, for the entire crypto space, and this is why it's important that Terra does not implode, although you can argue it has already imploded. But I mean, if they in some way, shape, or form manage to recover this, it's good for the entire crypto space, because there's going to be some harsh regulation coming for crypto due to this event. They're going to, I mean, the regulators are going to point towards this as it means that they need to solve this, and the space is not safe, which it isn't. But nonetheless, they're going to use this to push really hard regulation. This probably sets back the crypto markets quite a lot, in my opinion. So while I was thinking that we might drag on for a little while, this only strengthens that thesis that things are most likely going to drag on, because a lot of people had their funds in Terra USD farming stablecoins, like it was safe, right? A lot of people had their money in Terra. These people are, with a high degree of certainty, not going to come back. But just like I said in the beginning, if you do manage to just, take that loss, whatever is happening here, there's going to be more opportunities in crypto moving forward. But I also understand that there's going to be a lot of people who are never touching crypto again due to this. So that's unfortunate. We lost a significant portion of the crypto audience. I think that, but we will see, guys. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that this is definitely, if they do not manage to recover this, especially, I think that this probably sets us back quite a while in the crypto space. Although it is going to continue to go up over time, of course. Just going to be slower. So the Luna Foundation has been seeking funding to help sort the situation. They were mentioning that they were raising $1 billion from Jump Capital, from Celsius, from some other players. This does not seem to have come to fruition, because they were talking about buying Luna at a 50% discount when it was at like $40. Of course, right now.
The funny thing is, like, Luna Foundation is like looking to raise $1 billion. I think it was like yesterday, Justin's son put $2 billion into the USDD fund for Tron. This man was like, we're going to make sure we're good.
Now, it has already crashed way below that already discounted price. So I don't think that anything came out of this, and that is the reason why I think that the announcements are being delayed here. And yeah, let's see if they will be able to solve the situation, guys. I am going to keep you updated. But yeah, for everyone holding Luna, for everyone who has been farming stablecoins on Terra USD, just want to let you know that yeah, I'm in the same boat as you, and I've also lost a significant portion here. But I did lose a lot of funds in 2018 during the COVID crash and during many different events. And I've also been back. You will also, if you stick around, do the research, and yeah, just take advantage of opportunities in crypto. Guys, thanks so much for watching this video. I will see you guys in the next one.
Charmin Ultrasoft is twice as absorbent.
Wow, just going down. Okay, I'm about to say. What?
Got to talk about Hex. Got to talk about Pulse Chain. Got to talk about Pulse X. I made a video yesterday. Some people mad at me, but look, I'm gonna be honest with you. Hex, one of the biggest appreciating assets in all of cryptocurrency, and while Terra Luna just lost like 90% of its value, 99% of its value, Hex still stands. Did I forget to mention that Pulse X and Pulse Chain is gonna be very significant? It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be out of this world. Did I mention they're dropping a movie on Richard Hart and his billion-dollar success? Guys, Pulse Chain, revolutionary proof-of-stake protocol. It can really change the game. And this burning mechanism he keeps talking about, 25% is gonna get burned, and then 75% going to the validators. I have never seen this on a layer one in my life. There's a lot of negatives to talk about in this market, and instead of going and diving deep into everything that could potentially go wrong, I do want to talk about some positives about Pulse Chain. So yeah, this is going to be a video for that. And just to be clear, I am not buying Hex in this market conditions. And also, the last video I made about the liquidity issues that Pulse Chain can run into if they launch in this environment, I do think it's justified, considering the fact that all projects are having liquidity issues, and Hex, Pulse Chain, and Pulse X does not operate in a closed vacuum. And this is why I am not buying Hex right now. Okay, so just to be clear, I love what Hex did. I love the certificate deposit. I think Richard Hart is one of the best marketers on planet Earth. He is one of the only leaders that developed the cult-like following that you see here. But I also believe, that you have to kind of play the market in a realistic perspective. I think Hex will likely probably come down, and I'll be buying that all the way to the bottom. But when it comes to, specifically investing in anything right now, I think it's ridiculous. I can't justify any coin on planet Earth, even if Hex is the greatest thing that's ever made. I cannot justify buying anything, and I will not say to buy anything. Now, I do want to show this clip by Richard Hart, because it kind of confirms what I said. Maybe he doesn't say it in exact words, but basically, here's the gist.
Is there anything else that you want to talk about, mention regarding Hex or Pulse Chain to the community?
So, I think people, if I were trying to, I think people are overvaluing what they're, how do I say this? If I had to pick a horse to back in the PRC20 copy world, it would be the PRC20 copy that had the most liquidity backing it up. And so because so many participants in the sacrifice sets were probably hexagons to start with, or otherwise just knew of me, I mean, my gut feeling is that the most liquid coin, at least at the start on the Pulse chain network, would probably be Hex, or maybe Pulse, or maybe Pulse X, one of these three, right? Because they're kind of tied to me, like because I founded them. And then these other, so I know people that are like, or I've heard of people that are like grouping up ERC20s while I'm bearish on the market as a whole. Well, I don't understand that. Like, how long do you want me to be bearish? I believe in the 85% dip, guys. I think Ethereum will drop 85%. I think Bitcoin will drop 85% from their highs. I think Bitcoin will go down to 11,000. I don't know why you long those things. So
no, slow down.
You know, I think Hex is amazing. I think Pulse X is amazing. Pulse Chain is amazing. We'll see how the incentive token does. Hopefully, it does well. The LP reward incentive token. And so I wouldn't, you know, for me, like if you have, I don't know why you would accumulate an ERC20 in the hopes of getting your PRC20 without knowing that someone wants to buy that PRC20. I would want to see liquidity, right? So I would go and test and look for activity, like, you know, what ERC20s are people using? And for instance, like we had a lot of SHIB sacrifices, and so I know parts of the community a lot of SHIB sacrifices. Okay, well I know that at least those guys, some part of their community, knows about what's happening, and therefore is more likely to participate and maybe add liquidity, and therefore I would feel more certain that that PRC20 might have more value than other ERC20s. And so I think like if you're trying to like, I don't want people to get wrecked holding ERC20s, and I'm bearish on Ethereum and ERC20s in general to wait for their Pulse chain copies.
And what he's saying here is that likely the coins that will be liquid will be what? Pulse chain, Pulse X, and Hex, right? So, you know, in reference to the last video, what I was specifically talking about, which by the way, you know, no other blockchain's ever done this. This airdrop's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be insane. So if you haven't looked into Pulse chain, okay, basically the big thing that really, really excites me about this project is that I will get a complete carbon copy of my ERC20 balance or anything I'm holding on Ethereum. And I'll get it for free. So, you know, currently I have like almost $500,000, okay, that I'll get for free if I just keep it on the Ethereum blockchain. Now, the point I was trying to make is, you know, if we got a whole bunch of free USDC, then how is it going to hold up its peg? It probably won't, and it's okay for the short term. And I forgot to say that in the last video, just to be clear with everybody. Look, I apologize to the community for not being, I guess, positive and negative. So this is the video I'm making here, right? So USDC, a lot of these stable coins, it's going to be hard to keep up with the liquidity first, you know, when it first launches, okay? And honestly, it doesn't matter the market conditions. So even if he launches it in the bull run, you know, closer to where I was saying, you know, closer to the next halving cycle, it will likely be the same thing. Like it's going to be hard to keep its peg. And the reason for it is that we just never seen this before, and people are not going to know how to react. So it will be probably a lack of liquidity on other coins, but eventually the point is, and I think he said this multiple times and made it very clear, is that over time the liquidity will even out, right? People will have faith. They will start using Pulse chain. You know, again, like if it's anything like his current project, I'm sure he's gonna think of everything and it's gonna be outstanding. Again, like if we have to base Pulse chain off of Richard Hart's credibility, I think it's gonna be an outstanding project. I like his attitude. I like his, you know, his shoot first, ask questions later attitude, right? And I've seen a lot of leaders out there, to be real, a lot of cryptocurrency leaders, and nobody's as upfront and transparent, I think, that he is. Now, there's a lot of things that he doesn't talk about, like his finances and stuff like that, and it's cool, but I don't think anyone does at this point, like any founder. I don't think any of them do. So, you know, it's pretty normal in the grand scheme of things. There's a lot of questions with everything is the point I'm trying to make, and the beauty of Hex is that if you base your credibility off of, you know, what we saw in the past, this could be a good thing. Now, again, Hex is only a 2-year project, so, you know, I think the pitch is right now, if you want liquidity, when your balance gets copied, right, so the new chain, if you want to actually realize the value of this balance, I think what he's saying is invest in Hex, right? Which is, I have a problem with that because, again, the whole market is dumping, right? So, you know, I'll invest in Hex eventually, but I'm not going to do it for the promise of a Pulse chain. And, you know, again, I'll get a carbon copy of my ERC20 tokens, right? And maybe they won't be worth, you know, $500,000, but even if it's worth 100K, I think I'll be extremely happy. And I think it'll be the same for everybody else that's skeptical about Pulse chain and everything. That's the gist, is that although there will be a lack of liquidity on Pulse chain, I think that has to happen no matter which way you cut it. I think that there will be a lack of liquidity at first for maybe like USDC, USDT, and Ethereum, all these things, and maybe the peg is not perfect, but over time it will smooth out as people start using the chain. But the beauty of this mechanism is that you're expediting the adoption process. I think that's what he's trying to do, is he's trying to expedite the adoption process by doing this massive airdrop and forcing everybody on the chain. And it might look ugly at first, but over time it will look good. And again, just to be clear for people that don't know what Pulse chain, Pulse X, you know, you can go look into it for yourself. But basically, again, the big thing that really excites me is the airdrop. You get a copy, everything that's off chain, not off chain, on chain.
Basically trying to vampire attack Ethereum.
You will not get a carbon copy. So, you know, I've always recommended taking your crypto off of centralized exchanges. So, you know, personally, I use Ethereum and some other chains to do some trading, right? So I have a significant portion on the Ethereum blockchain in my MetaMask, right? So, you know, this is, if you don't know how to use MetaMask, like, I highly suggest you guys dive into some research. I'm not trying to make a full video on that, but using MetaMask is essentially Web3, and then I use Uniswap to trade, which is a decentralized exchange. If you have your crypto like that, which honestly, if you've been in crypto for more than a couple months, everyone should be this way, okay? Everyone should be doing this. If your crypto is like that, okay, then you're getting a carbon copy, but you can't say it's a carbon copy because you can't sell it. You're not going to be able to sell a lot of the assets. But I think Richard Hart was very clear, which I showed you guys the clip. He was very clear by saying, hey, there will be liquidity on Hex, Pulse chain, and Pulse X. So those three right there, you'll actually get a real carbon copy that is valuable. Now, maybe you can sell it, maybe you can stake it more, whatever it is, you know, in general, I think that statement is solidified. And I did get a lot of negativity, and it's expected. You know, you guys are like the greatest community ever. You're like the strongest community in all of crypto, so I get it. You know, I would say something negative about XRP. I got the same thing. You know, I would say something negative. If it's slightly contradictory, you know, to what everybody's saying in the market, if it's slightly different from the general consensus, people are always going to be mad, and it's okay. But I implore you to look at the other side of the story, because this shouldn't have scared anybody in Pulse chain. And the fact that it scared you really showed your insecurities. I think Richard Hart would have agreed of what I'm saying. And the beauty of this is I put my, not only my money where my mouth is, but also put my credibility where my mouth is. So I'm perfectly comfortable going on a live stream and telling this to his face, right? So this is the beauty of how I'm moving moving in this event is that I'm facing the truth, but I'm also exposing a lot of fake pulse chain people because they're insecure about it. There were some smart pulse chain people who are like, yeah, Alex, like, I'm gonna buy the dip on pulse chain, and pulse X, I'm gonna buy that dip, and they were positive about it. If you really heard what I said, you shouldn't have been mad. And that's the beauty of what I'm trying to explain here. This is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for all of us. Now, personally, although Richard Hart's man is very smart, he got a lot on his plate, and I'm not gonna sit here and dumb down my credibility. I've been in cryptocurrency for 6 years. I can speak my mind, and that is what you call freedom of speech. Not only that, but this is like a probably not the same thing. It was like a stock shareholder meeting of the like in 2022, the futuristic stock shareholder meeting. As an investor in this platform, I do have, and so do you, by the way. You don't have to just listen to this one perspective and ignore everything else. I have the right to speak up on how I feel about the protocol that I am invested in. Not only do I have the right, but I also have the credibility. So I'm gonna say how it is. You can get mad all you want, but really, if you're getting mad, you are insecure. The lack of liquidity is an opportunity in my eyes. Follow the market. So the whole market's dumping. Why would you tell anyone to invest into something like that? It's ridiculous. It's irresponsible. And honestly, your arguments are very similar to Richard Hart's. Why don't you think for yourself? I think that's a big thing. Think for yourself. Have your own opinions. He will respect that.
I'm gonna move toward the end and see if he gets anything else.
No one will unless you lay out the risks. You have to lay out the risks and prepare people to make them feel comfortable and to actually believe you. They're not going to believe you if it's just, hex to the moon, right? Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I'm trying to teach people how to become better leaders. You should thank me for that. The way I'm looking at the market right now is very simple. I'm not buying anything. I bought a little bit of some 8 coin yesterday just because I've been wanting to hold that coin for a while, but it dipped another 15%. It's going to be the same for every coin. Everything's taking a hit, and I should have said that in the last video. It's not just relevant to just Cardano. It's not relevant just to the bull chain. It's not relevant just to hex. It's the entire market. And what I would much rather do is buy hex at the exact bottom of the market. When everything's dumping, everything's done, I'm going to buy hex at the bottom. And look, Richard Hart's buying a dip for you with this freaking airdrop. It's ridiculous how much and how smart he's thought about everything. So again, bring it home for you guys. Everything I said here, I think to a certain extent, he's bracing his audience too. He just hasn't come out.
And if he is planning on starting it within the next 14 days or so, that means Richard Hart probably believes that this dip that we're in is only going to last another 2 weeks or so. Maybe it could go on a little bit longer than that afterwards, but he's not going to launch anything at a time where he feels like everything's going to get turbulent as hell.
Liquidity, but I think if you're in cryptocurrency, you know anything about cryptocurrency, this is super obvious, super obvious. And I think, for the new people, if you've been in this market for less than 4 years and you've never experienced a cycle, if you want more liquidity to your protocol, you got to convince the smart investors. You can't just piggyback off each other all day.
Okay, go here.
The new Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. For a shave
this is
easy as
the whatchamacallit, I'm going to say DeFi Ninja, economic ninja.
I hope you're doing well. This isn't going to be like my normal chipper video, because quite frankly I'm not really happy, but it's something I got to get out to you guys. I think it's very important, and it is about the cost price index, the inflation numbers that came out of Wall Street today. I'm going to do my best to pick my words very carefully, okay? Because I made a live stream for you guys this morning because I made a prediction about a day or two ago about where I believe the inflation numbers were going to be, and that Wall Street was going to be totally wrong. Now, I wasn't 100% right, but I got most of it right, and I did this live stream, and the algo would not take it out. They just would not push it out. I've had some issues I don't talk about on the backside of all this, and we have to pick our words wisely and carefully to try and get the truth and information out to people these days. And so what I need is a couple things from you guys. First off, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Trust me, go down to the comment section. I'm sure my awesome, incredible subscribers, which this is one of the fastest growing financial channels on YouTube. I'm not joking. It is one of the most watched. This channel gets on average 100 to 150,000 views a day. Very blessed. This channel is amazing, and it's because of people like you. Amazing people that know that something's wrong with the system. And I've been warning people for about a year and a half now and been able to nail certain key time points and targets. And that's not to brag. It's because I've been an investor for like 25 years, and I was an accredited investor when I was 25. Made my first $1 million back then, and I've been into a lot of different things: crypto, real estate, oil, all kinds of stuff. Okay, so but these are very serious times I'm trying to warn people about. Okay, so again, it's about CPI and inflation. So let me just give you a brief overview. I don't have any notes or anything like that. Analysts and these smart people, I call them, the people with degrees that have name badges, they listen to me. I know more than you about finances. That's actually not true. Most of these people are under, what is it, like 80% of the world's money right now is managed by people under 35 years old, right? People that and I'm not trying to diss all financial advisors. I'm not trying to diss people that are in finance, all right? But I do want to call a spade a spade. I remember buying and selling real estate back in 2001 and getting advice from property managers, real estate agents, escrow officers that didn't even own their own home. And I love building teams, but at a certain point, when they're all arguing with you and they're disagreeing with you, I have to go, okay, at this point, first off, whose property are we talking about? And secondly, do you guys own any property? We have to get people back to reality. And this world wants to tell you that you can't control your money. And I know it sounds like a crazy rant, but this is very, very important that people hear this right now. So guys, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. And the reason why, you got to push it through the algo. They don't want people to understand this stuff. They want you to think that finance is very convoluted, very hard to navigate. So you shouldn't do it. You should let a money manager do it. And in all reality, they only make money two ways: by selling you their prepackaged crap in most instances, and then moving your money around and charging fees. All right. So the CPI numbers came out today, and Wall Street, all of those smart people were telling you that they expected inflation to drop. All right. They were expecting a lower inflation number. All right. And that is not what happened. A higher inflation number came out. And what I said the other day is I said I wouldn't be surprised if inflation hit 9% this month. I totally blown away analysts. It still blew away analysts because people expected inflation to lower, and that's not true. So again, we're seeing this all over. The professionals are telling you that these stocks are okay. They're telling you that everything's okay. Don't worry about it. As the insiders sell and the market continues to drop. There are a lot of things. We're going to get extremely volatile this summer going into fall, and fall I'm very concerned with. And I've been telling my subscribers this. So please, subscribers, throw down in the comment section what you've learned from this channel. And it's not about me. It's about the movement, the cause of helping people hold on to their money and grow wealth during this next crash, because that's how the elite make their money. They make money as things go down. They don't make it as things go up. It's a very hard concept for most people to understand, but it is very true. I've sat on boards of companies. I've started companies. I own multiple businesses. And this is very, very important information. So again, as you hit that thumbs up, it forces this video out there because it shows these big companies, oh, this is the information we want. And if you don't give it to us, you go broke. Go woke, go broke. Honestly, that's how it is. So I think it's very, very important for people to get this information. So Wall Street was totally wrong about CPI numbers. Inflation is getting worse. The Federal Reserve is not doing what they're supposed to rein in inflation. It has gotten away from them. There's too much liquidity in the market, and now they're announcing too. They're going to drastically pull back liquidity in September. And mark my words, I'm telling you guys, fall is going to bring some very serious issues. And I want you guys prepared and not scared, because when you're prepared, we can take the city, we can take the mountain, no problem. because we'll have some money in our hands, regardless of your net worth right now. I don't care if you're not a millionaire. I don't care if you only have $100 in your pocket. That $100 you can make a good decision with right now and start today, and then tomorrow you make another good decision, and then another one, and before you know it, you've got lots of money in your pocket. I know a gentleman that started watching this channel over a year ago, and he was broke. He was going to end it all. He now has over $10,000 in his savings and has paid off a ton of debt and is so happy. I'm telling you right now, if you decide today to start to make a change, make a difference in your own life, not only going to help yourself and your family, but then you're going to be able to turn and help your community and next the world. I want people to understand that. This is very, very important you understand that. So now all of the professionals out there are telling you, don't worry, we're going through a mild correction. It's a correction when all of the big boys are getting out. And there are people out there telling you the truth, big guys, even billionaires, saying this is serious, this is very serious, get ready. But at the same time, I want you to understand their motives too. They'll tell you, hey man, this is going to crash, and then people start to flood out, and they get ready to purchase these companies, large swaths of these companies, controlling interests of these companies. And you're going to start to see certain companies going private. That's the next wave, because they know the profit machine that some of these companies are. If they can turn you negative against these companies, then you're going to run. They're going to get the company for pennies on the dollar, and they're going to take it private. And they're going to completely just crush it because the profits are now going into their pockets, as opposed to all of the other shareholders. Okay, people need to realize this. This is the game. And during the last crash, people that held GM stock were completely washed out. It was worthless, and it went private. And only for them to reissue shares years and years later and profit from those shares and then pay off the government loans. This is the game. This is the game, and I don't want you to be a part of that. This is so very serious. So the CPI numbers, the Dow Jones was positive. And guys, do me a favor. If you guys are still here on this video right now, hashtag inflation, hashtag CPI in this video, so I know you guys made it this far. It really helps me out. And again, thank you for smashing that like button. Wall Street was positive. The futures, Dow futures like positive 234 points when I looked. Second, the CPI numbers came out, they went negative like 115, 120 points, something like that. The stock market is not liking this. And as this goes on, and you see like the president of the United States come out and tell you, he's going to be tough, but he's also blaming other people. There's no like, hey, we got to take care of this. The government needs to take care of this. Who cares what side of the aisle you're on? The government needs to stop spending money. The government needs to stop blowing money all over the world, because right now I know you get it, because that's for political reasons. But you're going to sell your country out, your countrymen out. That's what's happening. That's why I want to be a part of the greatest army of human beings ever to come together, get out of debt, get out of this system, be solid, own real things. I know it looks crazy right now. Bitcoin's going down, gold not really going down that much, silver going down, real estate's turning down, right? And but what you don't realize is it's only perceived value versus the dollar. And the only reason the dollar is strong right now is because people are selling their assets right now because of massive margin calls are happening right now before your eyes, but behind the scenes. If you aren't a part of this financial realm like I have been for 25 years, you can't see it, but they are selling, raising cash for two reasons: margin calls to pay off margin debt, which is at record high right now, and the second reason is because they know something bad's happening. They're raising cash to take advantage of you panicking a few months from now, or actually around the fall, and they're going to buy it up for pennies on the dollar. So the dollar perceived value is high, but remember, that's only perceived value versus other currencies. Okay, that is what's important. And most of the euro is a basket case right now, literally. So that's why the dollar's bumping. It's literally 25, 24 year high right now. You go back to 1999, and right now we're sitting in the Dixie at 103, 104. And sorry, I don't want to get too technical. I'll try and keep it vanilla, but it's like bumping that resistance point. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it would take an act of God for it to shoot past it. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I think it's gonna be an act of God, and it's gonna come down, because all fiat currencies are falling right now, and the proof is inflation. That's your proof. They don't want you. They want you in their system of debt. They don't want you in real tangible assets. That's why it's so vital. So guys, thank you for watching. I'm gonna try and upload this and see what happens. I think it's gonna crush it because you guys are awesome. The Economic Ninja is out.
Crypto talk with Thomas G. Yeah, dog. Bringing heat, mining sprees, and we're farming all around, including E. Yeah, dog. Bringing heat, mining sprees, and we're farming all around, including.
Yeah, dog. Thomas G here once again with another cryptocurrency video for you guys. Welcome to the channel. Don't forget to pound the like button, drop a comment. Always remember, this is not financial advice. Do your own research, and it's just crypto. You could get wrecked. Even in stablecoins. I will talk about that in a sec. But bear market, bull market, it doesn't matter. There's always stuff in cryptocurrency that's giving gains. There's always the gifts that keep on giving. One of them being Hex, and the other one being Hadron. All right, Hadron, however you want to say it. I call it gains and gains and gains and more to come. Overall market cap $1.4 trillion. Bitcoin is 31,000. Ethereum's 2,300. Everything's in the red. Who cares? Who really cares? Bear market. I don't care what the hell Bitcoin's doing. I don't care what Ethereum's doing. I sure as hell don't care what BNB's doing, and I could care less that Terra UST is off peg at 79 cents. You can say the drama for crypto.com news and everybody else that depends on these tokens. There's a lot more out there in the space. If you guys are watching me or in my Rector Riches group, I've been telling everybody my main focus is to buy Hex and to buy Hadron. I'm buying both of these tokens right now. I've been dollar cost averaging Hex this entire time during the bear market and all the way on these every dip I possibly can. We're still in the green at 8.93%, 16 cent Hex. And guess what? Richard Hart came on the Wendy O show today. Poor Wendy, she couldn't keep up with them. She's not very crypto savvy. I think she's just one of those persons with a lot of subscribers that the platforms. It's the platform she's built, so she gets paid to do interviews and all that good stuff. But she couldn't keep up with my man Richard Hart. But the one thing we got out of that, setting aside the crypto Wendy's not very.
This is what I'll say. Because I got to defend Wendy real quick. It's not that she's not crypto savvy. She's not technical. So she's not very technical in crypto and stuff. And Richard Hart is a very technical crypto investor and participant. This man was doing mining early on in Bitcoin when it was that much hard. You could not just go out there and buy a rig or just hook up some graphics, whatever the heck, all this stuff. You couldn't do that back then. He's that early. He knows the names of protocols, how those protocols work on the back end, etc. This man is very well versed. And so is Crypto Wendy able to keep up with that, like to the full extent? No, and she admitted that multiple times. She's like, I'm not the most technical person, so I'm going to also ask questions, not just for myself, but also for my audience. It's not as technical. We realize the benefits of being able to invest in this stuff and how much you'll benefit from it. And so we do that. But do I understand what a SHA 120, whatever the heck, I forget the numbers after SHA. Like, no, that's like Bitcoin mining. Like, no, don't understand all that. But understand crypto.
in tune with Hex or Pulse Chain, you must be living underneath the rock or really not that deep in cryptocurrency. Just to be 100% honest, if you don't know about Hex and Pulse Chain by now, you ain't in crypto. You're not in DeFi. You're not really. You're just sitting on old technology.
You can't be in crypto if you don't know about Hex and Pulse Chain.
Sucks. Ethereum, expensive, gas fees, and Richard Hart is bringing the Pulse Chain network to lower those gas fees and give us something that's going to be a beautiful thing in the space. But Hex and Hadron and Pulse Chain, this is all connected because Richard Hart today during that interview said that in 14 days he believes that's when mainnet for Pulse Chain network will start. Okay, the blockchain. It is proof of stake. It's going to be quick, efficient, cheap, and affordable. We're not going to have to worry about being on Ethereum and participating and voluntarily paying ridiculous gas fees. In addition to that, the world's biggest airdrop is going to happen. So if that's in fact 14 days out, that's about May 24th. If you look at today's May 10th, towards the end of May, the world's biggest airdrop. So all of your ERC20 tokens, your NFTs, all that will be airdropped to you on the Pulse Chain network. That's why we're going to see the price of Hex once people know that it's coming close to the snapshot, or they have any hints, because I don't think Richard's going to hint to us. If mainnet's coming in the next 14 days, it could be any day. This price is going to pump. And then you have Hadron as well. Like I said, Hadron, I don't care how it's pronounced. It's making me gains. It's 50.74% in the green today. Okay, during I don't pay attention to the bloodbath going on out there because it's not relevant in my life. I'm winning. You want to be a winner? Follow the winners. And am I saying I'm a winner? You should follow me? No, man. I'm following the biggest whales out there in the entire crypto space. I've been following them for the past 3 or 4 years. These particular wallets. And once I saw that they participated in Hex and I was already in Hex, that's when I became more bullish and more addicted to buying it early on. And I'm seeing the same thing because now these whales are minting Hadron. And you know what the use case for this is going to be? That's really, really mind blowing to me that people are talking about. And if you want to go to the website, you're gonna be able to read all about it. What is this token? How do you get it? I'm purchasing it. I've minted a ton of it. But did you know that there's going to be an entire marketplace where they're going to be utilizing the Hadron token within an NFT marketplace? So imagine you have a 15-year stake with Hex. You can sell that 15-year stake in the form of an NFT in the marketplace to somebody who's willing to sell that in an auction, bid on it with the Hadron token in an auction, and the highest bidder wins. So let's say the highest bidder forks out 2 billion of these tokens, the HDRN, which is the ticker for Hadron. Those tokens will be burned. Okay, so it's going to be reducing supply. It's going to have a use case in this NFT marketplace as the bidding token, and I just think it's an incredible aspect and the most important factor of the entire tokenomics as far as the use case for this token. So it is, I think, a hidden gem. Now everything in cryptocurrency, I think it's a complete gamble. I don't care if you can chart like there's no tomorrow. I don't care if you made hundreds of picks like myself that have done well. They've always been just rolling the dice, getting a lucky hand, hitting it big on the river for me, because I play every hand that I can. And when you're in poker and you get good at it, the more hands you play, the more experience you get, then the more hands you start to win, because you start to get a feel for it and you get on a roll. I've been on a roll for a long time. I've come out of the bear market. The last one got chewed up, spit out, and I've gotten better. I've lost a lot of money, and now I've made more money than I've ever made in my lifetime. But those were some expensive lessons. So my 2 picks right now to the bear market are to continue to buy Hex, because before that snapshot happens, this price is going to moon. Plus, you're going to get the airdrop over on Pulse Chain, including, look at this price right here. This is the types of price. These are the price points that I was getting involved with Hex when it first came out. I remember buying Hex at between 1 to 5 satoshis. Look at Hadron right now, 57 satoshis. That's the measurement in satoshis for the value of what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin's value is based off the number of satoshis. Bitcoin value is 57 satoshis. So when I was buying Hex, it was between 1 to 5 satoshis. When it went up to 32 satoshis and came back down to 10, 9, 7 satoshis, we're like, oh my god, we missed that opportunity to sell. I just kept dollar cost averaging. Look what happened. It went to a quarter of a penny, half a penny. It is truly decentralized. Same thing with this token. I think that they will run together in a sequence. When Hex moons, this will moon. When Hex comes down, this will be down. And I want to make sure I have my airdrop that I get on Pulse Chain, and that's where I'm going to make my money. When Pulse Chain goes live, I'm going to have billions of Hadron. I'm going to have Hadron. I'm gonna have, my goal is 2 million Hex, and just be 2 million Hex liquid, and just be one happy camper. So these are my 2 plays. If I continue to dollar cost average, right now it's up 50%. I've been buying every dip. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. If you go look at the charts, you're that chart guy. Go look and time it. Obviously buying it while it's 50% up, is that wise? Well, come on, unless it's your first rodeo, don't be that stupid. Let's see a pullback, and that would be the best dollar cost average. So I was buying some, excuse me, yesterday. Up 50% from all of my purchases prior before, and once it comes back down, I'll buy more. And I think we have plenty of time to accumulate, but to get the world's biggest airdrop and accumulate this on Pulse Chain, both Hex and this token here, I think it's a lifetime opportunity. 57 satoshis. I was there when Hex was like that, when it was 57.
Right, good. Next up, this is going to be a long one. This is the Anthony Pompliano show, the Pop Show. I would like to put this thing full screen right now, but I'm afraid that it would break, honestly. I'm gonna keep listening while I walk away and fill up my coffee.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Best Business Show. Why is it the best? Simply because we said so. We've got a fantastic show for you today. 5 guests. Polina will be here in a second, lunch money, of course. Then we have Chris Powers. Chris is gonna come on from 4 Capital. Joe, John, and then Alan Helm. I'll get to all that in a second in terms of who we have, but today's going to be one of those banger shows. Sit back 2 hours, just start learning. I want to spend my day learning, and that's what we're going to do together. If you show up here every day, 11 a.m. Eastern, for 2 hours, school is in session, and I ain't teaching. I'm just learning. Before we get into all that, remember, today's sponsor is Western Rise. If you want most comfortable sweatpants in the world, go to westernrise.com. They also got pretty comfortable ass t-shirts. They got some sweatshirts. Got a hoodie. Got the hoodie. Polina don't like when I wear the hoodie, but I got the hoodie. It's all black. It's amazing. So go to westernrise.com. You can use code BDS, 20% off. Doesn't matter what you want to do, where you're at. It's cold, it's hot outside. Doesn't matter. You sit your ass inside your house, turn it down to 69 degrees, and you can wear some comfortable sweatpants. So westernrise.com. Use code BDS, 20% off. There. There's a lot of stuff to get into. But first, lunch money time. Well, while she's trying to get rich, the rest of us just trying to get her lunch money. Right? Polina, how are you?
I'm great. Do I look like a farmer or like a painter today?
A painter. And you also have on a sailor shirt. Like you're
No,
sailing
that's not
the
a
deep
sailor.
blue sea.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, Sherwin-Williams, go ahead.
Not Sherwin.
All right, let's go, Sherwin.
For real? Okay. Inflation Do I need to say more? Barreled ahead at 8.3% in April from a year ago, remaining near 40-year highs.
Well, technically didn't barrel ahead. So whoever wrote that article, Jeff Cox over at CNBC. Jeff Cox at CNBC, who's fantastic reporter.
Not to dox people.
Well, he wrote the article. He probably is you could say it a different way. Instead of saying barreled ahead, instead went from 8.5, it dropped to 8.3%. Now, why it dropped, we'll talk about in a second, but it's important to understand where this is coming from. Gasoline is up 43% over the last 12 months. Food at home is up 10.8%. That is completely unsustainable for the American family. If you look at food outside of the home, it's up 7.2%. If you look at shelter, it's supposedly up 5%. New cars up 13%. Now, none of this matters. Literally, the number does not matter. You know why? Because they mess up with the number. So let me explain three things that are going on. The first
They're doing
is
lunch
they're
money
ranking
now,
over 6%
too.
of the calculation for new cars in the CPI. What do you mean? How are you manipulating the economic data and calculations in the middle of highest inflation in 40 years? I don't think they're doing that because they think that the number's going to become more accurate. They're probably doing it because they think the number will go down, which will make the overall basket seem cheaper, and therefore you get 8.3%. The second thing is that there's article after article after article that explains how national rent's up about 20%.
He's slowly building out like
about
a
20%.
whole
If the national rent and real estate is up about 20%,
If
how
he
is it
does
that the Bureau of Labor
best
Statistics
business
reports
show,
that the
then lunch
shelter
money,
is only 5%?
something else,
I'm not Einstein.
it'd be like
Americans
a
up
large
20%. You
portion
can't
of
say
the day.
5%. It's undercounting everything. So it's 8.3% number wrong. It's definitely in the teens. The question is just how bad is it? And so when you look at they're manipulating the data, they're manipulating the calculations, and they also are just pulling numbers out of their ass, essentially. You can say to yourself, inflation is bad. And at this point, the difference between 8.5 8.3% doesn't really matter. So going back to our boy Jeff Cox, I actually would argue that although it went down, his sentiment of it's just continuing to persist, actually I would agree with that part of it. And so what you have to remember is it did go down, but what we are seeing here is double-digit real inflation. The average American is absolutely getting crushed. And yesterday, Joe Biden gave a speech, and it sounded, literally, it was like South Park did it. He literally got up there and he said, this is my #1 domestic priority. And the way that we're going to solve this, I swear to God, what I'm about to say, this is what he said. He's going to ask corporations not to price gouge. Inflation is a 40-year high, and we're going to just like, hey, Mr. Corporation, will you please not price gouge? That's insane. Then, as if that's not bad enough, on top of it, he said, oh, we're also going to tax corporations and the wealthiest Americans. Let me bring you guys back to Economics 101. If I increase your cost, taxes, then what are you going to do? You're going to increase your prices. If you increase your prices, that means the person on the other end buying your goods is going to pay a higher price. If they pay a higher price, that leads to inflation. So by taxing people more or taxing corporations more, you actually continue to perpetuate the problem. This is classic. Socialism is stupid and capitalism works. Get out of the market as a politician and a central bank and let the market work. Because you know what's going to happen?
It's going to be bad.
It's going to be bad as they intervene. But if you don't actually do anything, it's going to come down naturally. You know why it's going to come down naturally?
But isn't that why they intervene? Because it's going to be terrifying if they just don't do anything?
We would not have 8.5% inflation in the official numbers if they never intervened in 2020. They
That's what I was saying, man.
So have you ever heard of central bankers,
Oh
the
my
firefighters,
goodness,
or the
that's all my girl.
arsonists
I was
that start a
like,
fire and then show up and pretend to be firefighters?
Like,
That's what
sure,
they are.
but like,
They
we would not be having these
If
economic issues.
you've been watching Lunch Money since 2020, you'll remember when we talked about how like a lot of the things that they were doing were short-term solutions that in the long term would be painful.
Can I pat ourselves on the back? We nailed this one. Y'all can go back check the receipts.
Yeah.
All the way from 2020, we called this out over and over and over and over
The
again.
one thing that I was wrong on that he was right on was what's his name? Andrew Cuomo? Yeah.
The real ones remember. The real ones remember.
I was like, he is not
This
going to
is
be
funny. Me and my girl and I got like a little bit of a. She was like she was like upset with me because I was like, yo, this pandemic and stuff like that. They're talking about printing out all these checks and stuff. They need to stop. I'm like, they gave everybody one check. They don't need to do any more checks. They need to stop. Let the market play out the way it plays out. And she's like, well, what about if it gets worse? I'm like, if it gets worse, it gets worse. It's gonna be that much worse if we like just do this. And then like, and we're gonna elongate how bad it's gonna get. And like, you know, a long period of it being bad is a lot worse than it being bad for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, or something like that. Like years of it being bad and people like having to struggle and like, oh, now I can't. Like, that's how you die. You die because you couldn't eat for a long period of time, not a short amount of time. You can go a day or two without eating. Like, and like, I'm not saying that people should go without eating, but I'm like, they're trying to like use that as like an analogy. Like, you know, a shorter period of time of like a downfall is better than it being expanded and being like, oh, it'll just gradually get worse and worse and worse and worse over this long period of time. People can't put up with that. And so that's what we like put ourselves into, and I feel like it would have been much better if we'd have just like went to like honestly a bartering system. I'm like, you know, if we got to barter with our neighbors, it'd be better. Like at this point, now they've made it like, you know, the currency is trash, and you might still have to barter with your neighbor. Like, it's like, wow, why do we go through this? But, yeah, let me digress. Let me get back to the show.
criminally charging crazy and
Y'all thought I was crazy when I said this dude definitely getting in trouble. Probably.
And he did.
Criminally. And it was, what do you mean? I said, this dude is not a good dude. I sniffed out that one real quick.
Just in defense of my fellow friend, I guess, Jeff Cox.
He's actually, he's probably one of my favorite
Well, this is what I'm saying.
reporters,
Inflation did barrel ahead at 8.3% in April from a year ago, it says.
To be honest, I'm kind of giving him a hard time.
No,
Just
it's
barrel
from
ahead is such a great headline.
And by the way, reporters typically don't write headlines, so FYI. It's probably written by somebody else. Netflix could launch streaming with ads even sooner than we expected.
Do you think it's a good idea?
I mean, from what sense? As a viewer, or if I was working at Netflix?
Well, let me rewrite the headline. Netflix invents television.
No, Netflix sells out to pay its bills.
No, I mean, that's what TV is, right? You're watching a stream, and then they just put ads in the middle.
Yeah, but you can't do it like television's like live.
Yeah, but there's plenty of recorded content. Well, you love Friends.
Yeah.
And Friends is no different than a TV show.
Way to dox me over here.
Like an episodic show on Netflix,
Yeah,
but then they just put ads in between.
No, I get it, but on TV you have to wait till 8 p.m. on TBS to watch Friends.
Yeah,
but
scheduled viewing.
Right.
Now let me ask you this. Do you think that the ads will be, you get a free account, you can watch Netflix for free with ads?
interesting.
Or do you think that they're going to absolutely nuke their membership base and say, even though you're paying us for a membership, we're also going to throw ads in on top?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
There'll be a revolt in the streets. Netflix will
They
just
need
create a
to
death
do
spiral
the
of unsubscribers.
free
I pay you
thing that
to
he's
watch
mentioned.
Netflix, and then you hit me with the ads? I don't know. You gonna lose me, dog.
I mean,
probably better.
They're gonna ratchet up the price.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Netflix has been doing whatever it takes to pay its bills, and I feel like this is just
How much is
another
Netflix? How much is Netflix?
$19.99.
In an incognito window, check to see how much a Netflix subscription is.
Or
I
like
started
keep
out
it the
at
same with no ads, and then like $2 for Netflix
Price
with ads.
hikes over the years, let's see.
See, she's trying to do all
Okay,
this
from
research.
2014 it started at $7.99, and
Yeah,
then
I got in at $9.99.
And then today I think it's
It's $19.99.
I believe, yeah, it's $19.99.
Am I grandfathered in, or am I paying $20?
I think you're paying $20.
That's a tax. That's
So,
a tax. Okay, next.
Okay, ready?
Let's do it.
So Twitter is already implementing new things to combat spam and duplicative tweets. You know who else needs to do this? YouTube. Do you see the comments on YouTube? I am like, how many fake Anthonys are there? I can't even tell them apart anymore. I don't know who you
Hey,
are.
that's fine. I'm cool with them. Whatever. What? Twitter. You know what Twitter's doing right now? If you said that Twitter, you just went from like taking a nap to, oh, I'm productive as hell. Elon, don't fire me. Elon, don't fire me. Elon, don't fire. Hell yeah. Elon's about to fire half the team.
You think?
He's gonna clean house. You know why?
No.
Because the team that's there, they ain't the team that's gonna get them where they need to go. You know
Yeah, but
why?
that team
Because if
has
that
gotten
team
them
was
here.
gonna do it, they would have already done it.
That team has gotten them here.
No, it hasn't. Twitter basically has gone sideways from a stock price standpoint for the last 7 years or whatever it is, like since 2014 or
Okay,
something.
but let's talk about the focus on spam. That's been a really big issue.
Yeah,
that
I'll fix
he's been tweeting at Jack, DMing with like.
No, I never get Jack on it. Because Jack was worried about us. They run two companies. I'm cool with Jack. Jack and I are cool.
Who are you tweeting at about
the
the spam?
CEO,
Oh, the
Parag.
CEO.
I say, Parag, let's go, buddy. He must not use Twitter. The CEO of Twitter must not use Twitter.
Why?
Because he would fix the problem if he was using Twitter, because it's everywhere. There's
Why
nobody
is it
on
so
Twitter
hard?
that's like, oh, this is good for the platform. There's nobody. So literally my working theory is that the CEO of Twitter does not use Twitter.
Yeah.
Because if he used Twitter, he'd get rid of the spam.
You know what else they should get rid of? The mean people on Twitter.
It
Get rid of them all.
It
Take
literally,
them off.
it probably would take like 2 engineers 3 days to fix this. This is the simplest
So why
problem
don't
ever.
they do it?
Most likely because, I don't know, 10%, 20% of all their user numbers would immediately drop. Or they would drop 10, 20%.
Oh, you mean
active users, all that stuff, because that
okay.
account counts as an active user.
Ooh, that's suspicious.
I don't want to get into all the
If
details.
y'all
Y'all want to
listen-
know one of the biggest
Wait,
issues?
can I-
Okay.
Twitter's numbers
Yes.
are as deceptive as the inflation numbers. Same people might be running it.
Well, what I was going to say is this is why I like you.
Thank you for
I should keep you around. One of the reasons why this is all nonsense,
Yeah.
there's no auditing of the numbers.
Or the inflation.
The biggest issue at these companies is a lot of their valuation is derived by the user numbers. All those bots count. It's not good for the business. It's not good for investors. Get rid of them.
Yeah, but then their
Elon's
numbers,
gonna go in
their
there with
numbers
his flamethrowers.
yeah, Elon's gonna go in and Twitter's like a daily active user number is gonna plummet, and then the public.
But it's going to be private company. It's not going to matter.
Oh, that's
They're going
right.
private.
That's right.
It doesn't matter. Build for the long
Oh,
term.
that's true.
Stop optimizing for the next quarterly earnings report. Do the right thing for the long time.
Yep.
All right, next.
All right.
Oh,
Where
I
are
got
we?
that many piglets?
Well, it's true, and this is my favorite topic. So, okay, so you know, people like to say that the American dream is dead. Blah blah blah. American dream.
Close the front door, bro. When we get to this next video coming up after this, this is a long segment. But when we get to the am I a piglet millionaire? Son, what? I don't get this many piglets. I don't get that many truffles. What was that before? What was that worth before? Let me do this math. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm a truffle millionaire. Goddamn. What the fuck? How much are truffles worth?
Sorry. So, according to a new Gallup. What is it called?
Let's see what they were before,
70% of U.S. adults across race, gender, political party, and income say the American dream is still achievable. And here's a few stats to chew on from Axios. 44% of Fortune 500 companies have at least one founder who is an immigrant or the child of immigrants. I'm not a Fortune 500, but okay. Even the children of immigrants who fall in the poorest quarter of the U.S. end up in the middle class.
Looks like that might be a value of a lot of money.
All I have to say is that anybody who thinks the American dream is dead is dumb. You're dumb. Because there is no better country in the world for anyone in the world, regardless of wealth, race, religion, education status, who your parents are, who your friends, what language, none of that stuff matters. Get to the United States, and you got a shot. And that's been true for decades, and it's still true today. But it has now been outsourced. You don't actually physically have to get to the United States.
True.
We work with people all around the world.
True.
In various companies. Some people are based in the Philippines, some people are based in Nigeria, some people are based in Ghana, some people are based in Argentina, or Venezuela, or Canada, or Spain, or Russia, or Ukraine, or Saudi Arabia, etc. Anywhere in the world, you got an internet connection, you're in the game, let's go. American dream now is at your front door.
Since
Yes.
I, as a child, moved to the United States,
Yeah.
is Sophia considered first generation?
Ooh, that's good. I don't know what the definitions are.
Because if I'm like regular generation, right?
No, you're generation 0.
Right. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, you're like the Petri dish.
I don't know. People can tell me in the chat. I
Alright,
ask the people.
next.
Okay. Next is
Maybe you gave it a paywall?
No.
Yeah.
What is the next topic?
UFOs.
Oh, UFOs.
Are you good?
I can't see anything. I'm over here, the blind leading the blind.
The UFOs, are they going to have a hearing?
Yes, the UFOs are having a hearing.
The UFOs are having a hearing. That's interesting. I think the
There's House
politicians are going to have a
panel.
hearing
There's
about.
going to be a House panel that will hold the first public hearing on UFOs in decades. I wonder why. In decades. This is the first time in 50 years they're doing this.
You believe in aliens?
Absolutely. I think it's very self-centered for you to think that there is nothing else out in that universe other than us. That's very selfish. What do you think?
Yeah, there's definitely aliens.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if we can find
That was
them.
going to be a deal breaker real quick.
Yeah, there's definitely aliens. UFOs also unidentified flying objects. Of course those exist. People are like, well, the UFO doesn't exist. Well, like, that's unidentified flying object, so you can say it's not aliens, but it's still UFO.
Oh my
I know
God.
what it
John
is.
said the exact same thing yesterday. Did you take that from him?
No, what did John say?
Exact same thing.
Oh, that's because John's smart. Hey, everyone thinks that like we're idiots over here. We're smart people.
Well, of course, the UFO, that's like the...
That's the definition. What is it? I don't know what that thing is, but it's flying around like a tic tac.
I don't care about the UFOs. I'm interested in the aliens.
Yeah, so that's the question. Are there aliens or not? I think that I forget who told me this.
Some people
But,
might call me an
oh, you know who
alien.
said it? Bruce Fenton. Bruce
Because I
Fenton
moved
is
from
an
another
ancient alien researcher. I
No,
know.
because
Just
I'm an actual
correct me.
alien.
Bruce Fenton, ancient alien researcher. He hit me with this idea of there's 2 questions that everyone asks in their life. What happens after you die?
And are we the only ones?
Are we here alone?
But
Damn, how about that gravity of the situation? Are we here alone? And what happens after you die? Ask yourself that.
So
Let me know.
what if we are the aliens to other aliens? What do you think they think of us?
You ever seen a lizard see us? A lizard, an ant, any of those little animals, a mouse?
A mice?
A mouse, a snake, any of those things. You wanna know what they do? Oh shit! And they run. that they like the aliens are here. It's like a Godzilla type
Do you
moment.
want to tell them about your dad moment?
No, I don't want to talk about the time that I saw a lizard on the wall, and I went up to it and I was like looking at it like this.
What you doing there, little buddy?
And Plano was like, "What are you doing?" I'm looking at this little fella right here. And she was like, "That was the most dad moment
You know,
ever."
this is the dad pose.
I was kind of looking at it like, look at this little guy right here climbing up this wall. I was trying to figure it out. He's got a little claws. How did he
But why
climb
is
up
that
the
the
wall?
universal dad pose?
Oh, it's a contemplation moment.
Oh, okay.
Listen, Aristodes. What is it,
my
Aristotle?
God.
Aristotle? And me both probably stood there looking at an animal.
I highly.
Marcus Aurelius.
Do you guys? Oh, John has a question. Wait,
Yeah,
a
what?
question. But do you guys
Come on,
have
hurry, we got 1
questions?
minute.
Well, okay, I don't have an Ask Lunch Money time.
Okay, what's the
So hashtag AskLM in the comments below. Should we just ask John's question?
What is
or it's do aliens get citizenship?
Great question. Also, do aliens have sex?
What? It's a kid show.
It's a question. You gotta start thinking about this. What do aliens eat? Do they just drink liquids or do they eat solid foods? Are they carnivores or herbivores?
Or
herbivores, whatever it's called. I can't remember ounce words, but I got the ideas.
What are humans?
Humans? Carnivores.
Omnivores.
Omnivores, whatever, same thing. We are carnivores, which is an omnivore, so it's technically true. On top of that, one of the big questions about aliens is if they show up, one of the big questions would be, are they friendly or are they aggressive?
They're friendly.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you
Right.
guys today. Plano will be back tomorrow at 11 a.m.
Planet Earth behind me? Okay.
In the meantime, we first have Chris Powers coming from Fort Capital. Chris has got a very, very big real estate business. He's going to tell us all about not only real estate as an asset class, why he's interested in certain types of real estate, not interested in other types, but also he is going to walk us through how he's built this absolute behemoth of an organization. Then we've got Joe coming in. You know, Big Joe. Joe's always hitting us with some knowledge. Then John coming in after that. John's going to be talking about, I think, Spotify, if I remember correctly. And then we are going to be followed by Alan Helm. Alan is one of the individuals who went through our training program. And when he went through the training program, he was able to get a job at BTC Inc. And he's going to walk us through exactly how he was able to. Why is Class B so attractive to you? When people hear that, oh, Class A, that's where the Amazons and like all these businesses are going, million square feet, like that's incredible. What is it about the Class B inside of these kind of city or urban areas that makes it such a great opportunity or kind of investment case for you?
So you hear the word last mile all the time, last mile, last. These really are the last mile. In fact, these are the last quarter mile. When you think about these being built in the 70s, 80s, 90s, they have thousands of homes within a mile of their radius. They have mature infrastructure. They have police forces, and they have fire systems, and they have everything you would need all around them already. Number one. Number two, the tenants in these buildings, they're not necessarily Amazons. These are the companies that provide the material for these cities to grow. These are the cities that provide the warehouse space for medical providers to hold medical equipment. These are the tenants that are often contractors doing the work on the buildings and the roads and the streets and everything that you can think of in a society. I mean, we're so in 2022, all we want to talk about is the internet. And while the internet's a big thing, most of your life is actually denominated by the physical world around you, the studio that you're sitting in, the materials that you're using, the food that you eat, the healthcare that you get. And so when I think about Class B industrial, a lot of these businesses that occupy these properties are the true American businesses that keep America running.
Yeah, it's fantastic to kind of hear it articulated that way. When you start to think about investing in these assets, I think what makes you also special is you really built a machine. Take us back to when you started Fort and kind of what was the initial starting point, and then how did you actually like tactically build this into such a machine where now you can scale so aggressively?
Yeah. I think something that's been important to me is I wanted to build a business that could survive me. And that meant there had to be a machine in place that if I fell over tomorrow and never came back to Earth, there was something that would survive me. And so what was important to me really early on, I had a mentor tell me, and this is the case for any business, is your job should be to make yourself less and less relevant to the business, or you're not really building a business that has enterprise value and durable value. You're building a business that really revolves around you, which isn't a bad thing. People make a lot of money building businesses around themselves. But I didn't want that. I wanted something that when I was out doing whatever I'm doing, there was something working. And so I think it first started as a mental decision that that's what I'm going to do. I don't think a lot of people even get there. But once you get there, you start thinking about your day-to-day business as how do I do things that make myself less valuable to the business? It's not that I'm not valuable to the business, but I truly could fall over tomorrow and never come back and deals would still get done at Fort. And then really starting to look at businesses that have done it incredibly well. I think one of the things that if I had a strength is, and I would encourage more people to do this, is look at companies that have already done what you want to do and then try and emulate them and do the things, their best practices. Everybody's different, every culture is different, but there's a lot of blueprints out there because real estate is an old industry. It's the largest industry in the world, like you said. You don't have to look hard to find companies that have done this. So my goal was, how do I build a company that can find deals, underwrite deals, buy deals, manage deals, lease deals, everything without me being involved in any one of those things? And that really became the core focus of mine. And I eventually hired a CEO, so I'm now the founder, executive chairman. I have people that run every one of those things I just mentioned: leasing, acquisitions, financing, kind of you name it. And the biggest thing is they're all incentivized to do their job, do it well, do it with the team, and keep the company growing. And our friend Charlie Munger says, or maybe it's Warren, show me the incentives, I'll show you the outcome. And that's really been my entire focus over the last 5 years, is replacing myself and building a machine that can live on beyond me.
So when you think about this, and you get started, I think it's a really important point of like, hey, I want to build a machine that survives me, right? I think that's like a great call out. When you get started, is it just like, hey, we go do one deal and you are basically 100% of the team, and over time you just organically grow? Or is it something where in order to do this successfully, you actually raise outside capital from like an equity standpoint? You say, okay, to do this correctly, you have to start with the team and almost lessen the dependence on you on day one. Like, how did you think about kind of where you get started with how dependent the business is on you, and then the transition to where you are now, where it's basically not dependent on you at all?
Yeah. So as I recall, you worked at a hedge fund, am I right? Or a big financial firm. So you'll relate to this. A lot of people start in the deal business or the investment business because they're good at investing in something. But being really good at investing in crypto does not make you good at building an organization that has an HR department and an accounting department and all of these people. They're actually two completely different things. And very few people actually realize that. So I'll speak about real estate, but you can relate this to almost any investment type of firm, no matter what you're doing in investing. Most people get in, they're really good at doing deals. They start, they do 3 or 4 deals, maybe they hire an assistant and a couple wingmen to kind of help them do deals. But the key thing here is the person leading the charge is really a deal person. They're great at investing in real estate, they're great at finding deals. Then all of a sudden they look up one day and they're like, oh man, we have 5 deals, all of my time is consumed now managing these deals, managing the few people that I have. We don't really have a culture, we have no processes, we're just deal people. That is where most people stall out. or they don't really know that they're trying to build a company, so they stay that way forever. They buy a deal, they sell a deal. There's an inflection point that happens when you go, I don't want to be just a deal person, I want to build a deal company. And the backbones of any company, Pomp, are the same in a lot of companies. You have an accounting department, a finance department, an HR department, all the things that are like, I don't want to say the boring parts of the business, but they're the administrative parts of a business that make businesses run. And in fact, they become the largest part of the business. So my point in saying all this is there comes a fork in the road where you say, do I just want to be this kind of deal shop with a few people? We don't really have a ton of processes. We're just doing deals. And if I go away tomorrow, the whole business goes away. Or do I want to build a company that does deals? And making that distinction is a critical juncture in the road. Not a lot of people do it. And that requires hiring a person or partnering with a person like who's now my CEO. All he worked on for 6 years is actually building a company. And we just so happened to be buying a bunch of real estate. But there was a conscious decision. We're going to get really good at doing deals, but we're going to build a company.
So when you think about this, let's talk about operationally, like what that entails, right? So yourself and the now CEO, when you think about the activities of building the company, is this the activities of hiring, building systems, performance reviews, incentive design, like those types of things, and then you allow the quote-unquote employees to go ahead and actually execute the deals, but you and the CEO weren't actually looking at the deals? Or like how do you think about, you got to get deals done, right? And given that kind of you were there on day one and obviously had an interest in real estate, how much of your time maybe actually getting deals done and kind of building a track record versus the company building? And it sounds like it's basically evolved to, I don't know how involved you're on the deals today, but most of it's like company building activity.
Jobs that need to be done across the buying a piece of real estate. So we just tell our people long term, you will get cash rich, but you'll get promote wealthy here. You're not going to ever come and work for Ford, have a banger year where you make so much money that you could possibly leave. But if you talk to our people that have been with us 5 to 10 years, they become very wealthy. They're in 30, 40, 50 deals, getting a point here, a point there. And I think that's what people want long term is security. And you know as well as I know, when you give a lot of people a lot of cash, they blow it. But when you give people a way to kind of build wealth, they don't.
And the assets you guys buy and hold for long periods of time.
Yeah, so this is my favorite thing to talk on. We don't do development. Imagine if you were building a office building and you broke ground at the end of 2019. You thought everything was great. What's happened to you? We try and treat everybody the same because a lot of people that start as small investors become big investors. So we don't pick favorites. We don't treat the $5 million investor any different than the $50,000 investor. We try and treat everybody great. And the third is we try and provide them a great service. Obviously, returns matter. That matters first and foremost. If you have returns, you're going to get more investors and people are going to want to invest more with you. That matters a lot. But what about all the other things? Are you getting K1s on time? Are you reporting? Are you doing great reporting that is consistent? Is there a phone when somebody calls? Is there somebody they can talk to immediately? Do you throw events for your investors to get to know each other and for them to get to know you? How do you communicate? How transparent are you? And so for us, the incentive is to treat them. We know that our investors are ultra high net worth. They're investing with companies all over the country. Some of them, the Goldmans of the world, all the way down to Small Fort Capital in Fort Worth, Texas. And we just kind of wake up every day and say, how can we make it to where they can't tell the difference of who they're invested with, whether it's Goldman or Fort? And the truth of the matter is, there's not you don't have to spend all this money to treat investors really well. It just has to be a priority to treat investors really well.
So when you start to think about kind of the thoughtfulness that goes into this, you have the team, you have the investors. Talk to me about actually the types of real estate. Obviously, there's Class B, industrial real estate all around the country, but it seems like you have a very kind of specific focus on that. And is that just a proxy of you've thought a lot about your business and kind of what you want to do and also what you don't want to do, or is there something else driving some of the decisions on the actual site selection?
Yeah. So this is my favorite thing to talk on. We don't do development. Imagine if you were building a office building and you broke ground at the end of 2019. You thought everything was great. What's happened to you that's totally out of your control? COVID, inflation, supply chain issues, the office for some places of the world maybe never coming back because of issues. My point in saying that all is in development, you take on all this risk that you can't control. Cities that have shut down and employees that aren't there to give you permits or inspect the building. And so I developed early in my career, and that was like decision number one. I'm not developing. The day I buy a Class B industrial building, I know what my basis is, and I know what I have to do from day one. I learned that from Sam Zell. Developers, especially in California, where you might conceptualize a deal and it's not built and ready to be occupied for 8 more years. I mean, so much can happen in 8 years. I mean, Bitcoin can go from $100 to $50,000 in 8 years. A lot changes. So I had to throw in the Bitcoin plug because I'm on the Pomp podcast. So that has nothing to do with Class B industrial. So first and foremost, I want to be in development. Second, I want to be in Sunbelt markets. They're low government, they're pro-business, they have great weather, they treat people really well, they're low taxes, they're everywhere people want to live. Despite what the media says, watch where people are moving, and they're not moving just because of the tax rates. They are waking up and realizing these are the places on the earth we want to live. We're treated well, we're treated fairly, and we have a government that actually wants to see us succeed. That is not going to change. And you throw in a pro-business environment, it's a miracle. What we're seeing in Texas and Florida is an economic miracle. The third being, these are easy to manage buildings. These are big rectangles. They've already been built. They're very easy to manage. You paint them. Your biggest exposure is the roof working? Is the foundation working? Are the HVAC systems working? That's all very easy to understand. There's no guessing. You just go get an inspection report. Second, can I lease these places? Well, right now there's virtually 0% vacancy across the country in any market that matters in industrial. So now it becomes a game of where rental rates headed and how you determine where rental rates are headed. One, there's public market comps, but two, you can look at again population growth, job growth, wage growth, what areas of town are growing, what are not, where's infrastructure growing, where it's not. All these things are not rocket science. You just have to kind of follow the data and you can make good conclusions. And the last thing I would say, and I could go on and on and on, is COVID taught us one thing, and when we think about capital flows. To run the world, you basically need two things: rooftops and industrial facilities. To make product, warehouse product, distribute product. You don't need retail centers, you don't need office buildings, you don't need hotels. Those are all nice to haves. So even during a global pandemic, there were two property types that mattered: housing and industrial. So when you think of what's going on in the boardrooms right now, all these pensions of where they want to allocate money, industrial and housing is looked at as the least risky asset class on the planet. And for those vibes or those fundamentals to wear off, it's going to be a long, long time.
I have two more questions for you that now I'm just asking things that I'm personally curious about, so I apologize for being so selfish. If you had to point to one organization, whether it's a real estate company or any other organization, you say that is kind of a North Star for me as I build forward. What would that business be?
What an interesting gift you have.
That's a great question. I think it's probably like a Starwood or a Blackstone. I've been pretty vocal about that on Twitter. That's kind of a really big North Star. I love how they've set up their business. I love how they attract talent. I love how they use their data to make informed decisions. But really, they're capital raising machines, and when you have a lot of capital, you can do a lot of things. So that's probably the easy answer right there, or something like that.
Yeah, that's a great answer. And then what about legacy? Like you talked in the beginning about building an organization that would survive you. But the day that you unfortunately, like I, pass away, what do you want that legacy to be, or kind of how do you want people to remember yourself and for?
Yeah, a couple things. Our mission statement is to be the best real estate operator in the world. If you operate, again, we're not putting rockets in space. We are buying buildings and leasing space. So what's the
this world? And not because
interested in investing in industrial real estate.
Awesome. List that I think is interesting. One, it's dominated. So he does. This is awesome. All right, well, the fact that you got one makes my whole day. Now, I like you already. Now I love you.
I love you too, Tom.
Awesome, Chris. All right, well, thank you so much for taking the time to come do this, and we will definitely have to bring you back as you guys kind of continue building forward. And I think that everyone loved it, so I appreciate your time.
I appreciate it. I'd love to be back on, and I'll hit you up next time I'm in Miami.
All right, sounds good. Talk soon.
See you, buddy.
Absolutely insane to see what they've built there, and just the thoughtfulness in terms of that organization. I think is pretty incredible. Speaking of incredible, Joe Pont, what up? What's going on? Not much. Hey, bring a little liquid depth in there. Do a little plug real quick. No free ads except for companies I'm an investor in. Liquid depth, water in a can. Go buy you some if you're cool.
Is it supposed to look like beer? Is that what it is?
No, it's supposed to look like water in a can.
I mean,
why are you insinuating beer?
Well, I figured there was some reason why it looks like this.
You ever been to a bar and you stand there and you're holding one of these and you look like a loser?
That's what I'm saying. This
if you got liquid death, you look like a loser.
You drink this at the bar, people probably won't even ask you many questions.
Exactly.
Except, what is that beer?
Damn, Joe's on it. All right, what's up? What topics you got for us today?
We're talking about the highest paid athletes in the world.
Woo! Conor McGregor?
Big list. He's on there. He's not in the top 10 though. We have the top 10. Let's pull up the top 10.
Let's go. Oh, we got a list?
We got a list. Yeah, we got a few charts today. So all this data is from Sportico. So Forbes and Sportico, they do these lists every year. Sportico does this. This guy Kurt, he's very good at it. Outlays everything. This is the top 10 from this year, from 2022, the last 12 months. LeBron James, highest paid athlete in the world, $127 million. Then you got a few soccer players: Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar. I love how Neymar, just his name, one name, Neymar. Then you got Canelo, Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, Roger Federer, James Harden, and Tiger Woods. So there's a few different things about this list that I think is interesting. One, it's dominated. So he does the top 100. It's dominated by basketball players. And then if you look on each individual sport, so man, I think we have the chart of the highest paid athlete in each sport. Let's run through that, and then I can talk about a few takeaways, right? So LeBron James, highest paid basketball player, is also number 1 in the world. So he has the overall rank to the left, 1 through 61, and then the sport, their winnings, their endorsements, and then the total. So LeBron makes $90 million. He made $90 million last year from endorsements. So the majority of his income comes from endorsements. He's at first. Messi's the highest paid soccer player in the world. Alvarez, boxer. The list goes on. A few things that are interesting here. Look at Roger Federer, right? He made $700,000 last year actually playing tennis versus $85 million not playing tennis.
Jesus.
Right? So literally the smallest amount of his income possible comes from tennis.
Why? Like, what's going on?
He's built a massive brand. So he gets paid $30 million a year by Uniqlo, which is pretty substantial, right? He used to have a 10-year deal. This is actually pretty fascinating. He had a 10-year deal with Uniqlo, or with Nike. Nike didn't want to pay him more because they have this roster of athletes, and the market
he's just one of.
He's one of. And if you pay one person too much, the business wasn't big enough to justify that, basically. So
and also they use it as comps, kind of like wide receivers. The high paid receiver was the last guy got paid.
So long story short, he left. He goes to Uniqlo. He got a 10-year, $300 million deal, $30 million a year. Doesn't have a retirement clause. He hasn't really played, right? He's been hurt and so forth. He's getting older. So even at the age of 46, when the last year of the contract, he'll still get $30 million a year, even if he retired when he was 40.
What was it? Bobby Bonilla?
Yeah, well, that was Bonilla. Yeah, it was a different circumstance, but like that's his deal, right? And it doesn't include a lot of that money too. It doesn't include shoes. Uniqlo doesn't have a shoe deal, so he partnered with Uniqlo, got equity, he owns 3% of the business. They went public at a $10 billion valuation. He owns $300 million of equity. I don't know when that actually is liquidated, but he's getting paid from that too.
Okay.
So I think there's a few other things, right? Look at Conor McGregor. He's still pretty high on the list. He's the highest paid. I don't know if that's just MMA or fighter or wrestling. Yeah, mixed martial arts. He's on it. There's 1% of their pay from on-court earnings. Right? Yeah. So tennis players are earning paid so well, right? So this chart explains it really well, which is below the line means you're earning the majority of your money outside of your.
Still going.
Yeah. So Spring Hill raised at a $750 million valuation. He's a founder of that business, so I'm assuming he owns a somewhat meaningful portion of it still.
9 figures probably.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, but my point just being like, so he gets paid. I'm used just round.
No, they only do it if there's an exit.
Yeah. So just 40.
You, Joe, this. I said second day in a row. We got a scheduling problem around here.
What second day in a row? Wait, what you mean?
Second day in a row. Schedule's off. Schedule's off. Wait, I've been sitting. Wait, let's go. Let's get it. We're talking Netflix today.
Netflix.
The thing that used to send freaking red DVDs to your mailbox, and now you stream them.
All right, before we talk about Netflix, I got a call with you. Yeah, you know what my beef is? How you go come on talk about Netflix, but you text me today and say, going to talk about Spotify.
Yeah, because I looked up Spotify and I thought Netflix was more interesting. I bet they would like it more.
I appreciate you looking out for the audience, a little learning session. All right, I just want to make sure we're all clear about the text message game. Go ahead. What's going on with Netflix?
We don't start blasting DMs. No.
What's going on with Netflix?
Like Netflix, obviously pretty old company, founded in 1998. Mark Rudolph, Reed Hastings. This was their first website. Bro, looks nothing like the company you see today. What they've done over the last 20 years is insane.
Looks like a future $1 billion company.
At least they got the word Netflix, right? At least they still have the same almost branding.
You see the top left, Sony picked the flicks.
Yeah, so obviously they used to literally mail DVDs to your home. That's what they did for years. They started to rebrand over the years, obviously, and then you get to the site that they use today and the logo they use today. But you can see over time, they have literally just tried to switch brandings the entire time. They've done a really good job of pioneering certain things, like pioneering kind of the at-home streaming service on top of what Blockbuster did. So when Netflix started to send out DVDs, DVD players were only in 2% of homes in America. When they were sending out DVDs, they were only in 2%. VHS was the time, right? It was kind of early mid-1990s, and VHSs were running what people used to play their things on. And then we just have a quick timeline about Netflix, kind of break it down for everyone. So they were incorporated in the website launch in 1998, monthly subscription concept in 1999. They went to Blockbuster to try to have the CEO of Blockbuster buy them in 2000s, 2 years after launch. Okay. Blockbuster said, hell no, we're not buying you for $50 million. Turned out, bad move Blockbuster, good move for Netflix.
So $50 million, and Blockbuster didn't want to do it, and is it because Blockbuster was launching a competitive
Blockbuster didn't think they were going to do well.
Yeah.
So it was, like this was a new idea. It was just a new idea. It's like, I don't know, do people really want their DVDs delivered to their home instead of the experience, I'll call it, of Blockbuster? Okay. No, not really. Then they went public in 2002 with a $309 million valuation. So 2 years after getting declined for $50 million valuation, they went public with $300 million valuation.
Okay. Then they reached, what, 1 million subscribers 2003?
Yeah, 1 million subscribers 2003, that's a lot of freaking subscribers for a business that's 5 years old. Then they delivered 1 billion DVDs by 2007. Who entered the market in 2008? So you started to see they still grew in subscriptions, but competitors started to enter into the market. They weren't like the first and only. And then they started making original content, which is another pivotal move for them in 2012, 2013. And House of Cards was one of the most popular shows. We saw Squid Games, which we'll talk about, one of the most popular shows in the world.
2017, so what, 19 years?
Now they're $30 billion a year in annual revenue. Insane. They have the most subscribers at any streaming service outside of Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime, cheat code, they obviously... in the sense of, yes, you can make more money by charging people. Do people stick around? Is it real? That's a question of, like, are people actually going to pay for the product? I bet you lose a lot of subscribers.
Getting more into macros.
But with that said,
maybe this guy,
it's a different model, right? It just is. Like, the content that you get on Netflix,
success story. Talk about the things that you did, what worked, what didn't work, and any advice you have for other people who are looking to find a job in the industry. First, let's start with, what do you do now at BTC Inc.?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I'm one of the account managers for BTC Inc. For those of you that aren't familiar with BTC Inc., we're the parent company to Bitcoin Magazine and the Bitcoin Conference. My main focus is within the Bitcoin Conference itself. I handle some of our biggest relationships, so some of the companies you guys might know includes like Marathon, Blockdaemon, Cash App, so on and so forth. So yeah, I get to be best friends with some of these companies and just kind of make sure that their branding and some of the promises and deliverables that we give them are on point for the conference.
Got it. And so when you think about that as a role, what were you doing before you started work at BTC Inc. from an employment standpoint?
All right, now this is not interesting. I'm going to go on to what I find to be that much more interesting, which is the Am I a Piglet Millionaire? A video by the Bartertown Conglomerate, followed up by Crypto Zombie and Chico Crypto. Let's move into it.
So what's going on, guys? So guys, in today's video, we finally got the countdown. Everything is ready to go. Piggy Bank, Pigpen, Pigs version 2 is finally complete after all you guys crying. We finally got the dates. I'm gonna give you guys all the latest updates, and I'm gonna show you my 9999999 piglets. So shout out to the squad on that one, and also guys, our daily Drip Network airdrops. So stay tuned.
That just means like the botter had to have been so wealthy in the piggy bank, bro. Jesus.
So shout out to the squad. So guys, make sure that you join the Bartertown Conglomerate chat, but also the Bartertown Conglomerate announcement and news channel. So in the announcement and news channel, you're gonna find alpha. You're gonna find, credible links. You're gonna find, my thoughts and ideas on certain things that I may not put in a regular chat. So make sure that you guys are part of that. So in the announcement channel, there's a special link there that allows you to see your piglets, amount, and truffles, etc. So it's not safu to go clicking around random links that the community is dropping all over the place, especially this type of link that is easy to, get confused for another link, and then you may connect your wallet to something malicious. So go to the Bartertown announcement channel and get this link directly from the announcement channel. All right? And you want to be in the announcement channel. We just got so many hits. We got so many wins. We got so many home runs over here at Bartertown. You definitely want to be a part of something like this, where there's no swarm of chat. It's just straight up, this is a player videos. Right? Forex wanted to give himself enough time. That's it. Then he wanted to make sure the piggy bank was more sustainable and more fair in regards to the long term. We want to make sure that people have
the section that I'm skipping over, I'm just gonna say it real quickly. So if you're invested in drip or the animal farm, more specifically, the animal farm has been paused over the last 2 months. I want to say almost a quarter now. The animal farm has been paused, right? This was a big money maker in the crypto and DeFi space. One of the last remaining, the last farm. It's probably it's one of the last best performing farms in the DeFi space, farms. You still got Ape Swap, you got Coin Swap, you got Pancake Swap, Baby Swap. You got a few places like that, but it's outperforming everybody. And then it just paused one day, and that was due to the newest feature, the piggy bank, and how the pigs token from the piggy bank was related or connected to the farm, where people were farming out the pigs token for the piggy bank and the dog token for the piggy bank. And so it had to pause so that could be fixed. Since then, Forex has gone through, the developer of Drip and the Animal Farm, they've made tons of changes to the smart contracts around those dealing with the farm, so that if any issues happen in the future, they do not have to pause the entire farm. They can section out individual parts of the farm. And so as you can imagine, for investors, it's been a very trying time where people have wanted to entirely leave the project. A lot of people imagine that they were kind of held at gunpoint on the project. Maybe that's a bad term, but they imagine they couldn't leave because the farm was paused. Actually, if you want, you can just go through a YouTube search, do a YouTube search and behoove yourself. You can YouTube or Google search how to remove my funds from a smart contract or from a farm with no web page, because you can still, the smart contract exists, you can still go to the smart contract, remove your funds, even if there's no website anymore. That's what smart contracts are for. All that the website does is provide you a nice interface for people that are less technical to go through and click some buttons and interact with the smart contract. That's what the websites do. And that's why sometimes there's dev fees and stuff like that, because they have to pay for the website to be up. They don't need to pay for the smart contract to be up. After the smart contract's up, it's going, it's there. But there's that portion of things. So it's been a while. Now Forex Shark has finally finished everything off. Animal Farm will be starting again tomorrow. There's a countdown timer, which they promised time and time again, and it kept being delayed and delayed and delayed. But now everything is taken care of, and they have also distributed all the pigs credits to people who are already in the piggy bank. So if you in the piggy bank is a certificate of deposit type of contract, so your money's locked up in there, and if you have funds locked up in there during the pause, it's the only portion of the whole ecosystem other than Drip where your funds were actually locked. If your funds were locked up in the piggy bank when it paused, then you've been credited that much more piglets and truffles. Your piglets find your truffles, get you truffles when you compound and stuff. So you got that much more of those. which means you probably got that much more money to be looking forward to. And it's looking kind of insane right now. So everybody's kind of excited about that. That's why this video is titled, Am I a Piglet Millionaire? I'm going to let Ray from Bartertown take over. But I'm going to be speeding through this whenever I see them mentioning things that I just mentioned.
So you can check the time and the date. Thursday, I believe it's, let's see what the time is. May 12th at 11 p.m. EST. All right, EST, always EST, guys. Always running by EST. So the contracts are deployed, data credited, and then you want exactly Forex Shark's explanation. I have the video. Go listen to it. Make sure you listen to the video.
Forex Shark will also be on in the next 20 minutes in voice chat. So we might stop this video and cover that.
That's good. So as you can see, my Piglet game is pretty
Or
strong.
maybe I'll just make a Twitter Spaces for it specifically.
Pretty strong. That's my referral. When you have that 0, that's a referral address. Because my referral game. Woo! So we're gonna be doing some good airdrops over here, and we're gonna be doing good airdrops in the Bartertown Road Warriors Piglet Edition. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be doing some pretty good airdrops to the squad. So it'd be great if some community members can make a tool for the animal farm and the piggy bank, so that way we can organize these teams. Because it's a lot of people. You gotta call me the king of the piggy bank. You gotta call. Ain't nobody else in piggy bank in our ecosystem is doing this right here. You know what I'm saying? The best press release in crypto. Period. You know what I'm saying? The best. All right. So we're gonna hold it down though. I promise you that we're gonna hold it down when it comes to these airdrops. But this is a lot to manage. I need something to help me organize this, right? So community builders to build tools. I need you, man. We need something to organize this, right? So shout out to the squad on that one. So guys, enjoy the way your distribution is looking. So it's gonna be very bullish, man. Remember, no inflation on the pig token. We're gonna have several weeks before the farm goes live. So this is gonna be very insanely bullish for pigs price action. We're gonna maintain a bunch of liquidity in the pigs token, and then that's gonna offset the whole farm. That's gonna make everything more bullish in the farm to be able to have incentives to add liquidity to the other areas. So drip USD to dogs BUSD to dogs rat BNB, which is gonna improve the whole farm. The whole farm is gonna get improved because of the way that Forex is laying everything out. So it had to take longer. It had to take longer than what you anticipated. Okay. Some communication could have been organized differently as issues are going to be addressed, and everything's going to be okay. All right? Shout out to the squad on that one. So of course, guys, I give daily airdrops here at the Bartertown Conglomerate. And of course, if you want to join the best team in drip, make sure you watch the video. I'm going to be the Twitter airdrop king. I'm going to airdrop more wrecked, right? So if you have like a small amount of drip, two-function process. So make sure you guys understand that. I'm going to compound this BNB right here. So just always make sure that it's worth the gas, right? So every day I put in 1 BNB into the reservoir, and that's gonna be my thing. If I miss a day, I do 2 another day, right? So that's how we rocking. So I got those 2 airdrops. Shout out to the squad out there. I think there's one more.
Yeah, 0.07 drops. How much is a drop worth? Is that expensive? Or you just got like nothing in there?
A much better distribution and no available truffles, right? So if you see available truffles in your stake 0, this is where you have earned referral bonuses, and these cannot be withdrawn. You can only compound them into piglets. This means that when we go live, everyone has a chance of getting in at the ground floor with no risk of anyone dumping on you. On top of this, there will be a 20% bonus on fresh deposits into the piggy bank in the first 48 hours, right? So this means, functionally, V1 acted like a bonded
Shame is,
and we are
ain't a lot of money out there to dump it in.
Investors to get in at the ground floor and almost no pay.
Like, I gotta pay rent.
That's pretty cool, guys. You're gonna be able to take a position. The incentive is the 20% bonus that you're gonna be earning from coming in the first 48 hours. So it's an incentive for fresh capital to come, purchase pigs, put liquidity to it, and deposit it. That is an instant moon, right? Who's not gonna want to take, even people who are invested, you have to take advantage of that opportunity and lock up some tokens. You have to get that 20%. And this is the ground floor of the price. So, Forex made an open door for new capital to come in. That's what I'm saying. This had to take time. This had to be done in a calculated way. You rushing people, it's not worth it. The way that Forex handled this, I feel him. You know what I'm saying? And communication, it is what it is, bro. You have to roll with the punches. You know what I'm saying? Can you guys knock on Pancake Swap's door and ask your questions over there? No, they don't care, bro. You know what I'm saying? But at least Forex Shark makes it.
All right, that's pretty much the conclusion of Ray's video. Moving on, this next one, this is from Crypto Zombie. I am going to be jumping all over this one because, again, this is another YouTuber. There's a Bitcoin trader, I guess, kind of market trader, and analyst.
Dear Diary, I've lost everything again. What's going on, guys? It's KW here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing all right today. It has been another rough start to the day for trading. Bitcoin, you can see, is actually below $30,000 at the time of making this video. Now, incredibly, guys, Bitcoin actually, you can see right here so far, hit a low today of $29,350. We had our target set at $29,364. I posted this in the Telegram group. We literally were only $14 off from the potential bottom, but the question is this actually the bottom? Are we due for a relief rally? Because we had been waiting for the CPI reports to come in. They came in. They were anticipating around an 8.1% estimate, and instead we got 8.3%. This really wasn't significant enough to have that investor confidence, and nevertheless, you are seeing that so far, as of today, anything can change, but as of right now, we do have the stock market opening red. Bitcoin is falling, so like I said, anything can change by the end of the day, by the end of the week. But if we just have a look right here, not only did we have 8.3%, we had core CPI, which excludes food and energy, also weighing higher than expected, rising 6.2%. Shelter costs, which comprise about 1/3 of the CPI, rose at the fastest pace since 1991, and inflation-adjusted earnings continue to decline for workers, falling 2.6% over the past year due to the surging cost of living. On top of the fact that we also have this fiasco going on with UST and Luna. You can see Luna has fallen from literally $120 all the way down right now as I'm making this video to $1.85, and we have UST sitting at around 39 cents. Now this is a coin that is supposed to be pegged to the dollar. So if you've already made it this far, well then you are a trooper, because I'll tell you there are a lot of people that have turned off all the content at this point, because these are definitely some scary times that we're living in, guys. Now, before we get into the charts and everything, as someone who has been in the space for quite some time, guys, remember, I've been doing this for over 6 years. I can tell you personally, none of this has me shaken. It does suck when you're holding, Bitcoin and you see your portfolio fall, I suppose, right? But that's why you also keep a cash position. I do have cash on hand. I have not fully deployed it just yet in case we do get some of these crazy numbers that people have talked about. But there is a lot of stuff we got to go over today. On top of the fact, for example, right here, what's going on with this chart? We need to talk about this. Should we even care about what's happening over on Bitfinex? And also, there was sort of an alarming clause in the recent Coinbase latest SEC filings that came out that had people a little freaked out about their money. I wish I had some good news today. We might have some good news if you stick around. We'll find a way to flip this and inject a little bit of hopium, but we have to be very realistic about what is happening right now. Bitcoin is seeing something it's never seen before. Bitcoin has never seen a recession. It's never seen a true bear market in stocks. Remember, Bitcoin was birthed out of the 2008 financial crisis, right? So it's really never seen those types of turbulent times. So super quick, let's talk about what's going on. If you're not subscribed, consider it. And if you're still watching this video, I love you. You're awesome. I mean,
so that's not to say that Bitcoin hasn't gone down and it hasn't seen, negative numbers, but it's never been a part of the stock market downward
What I'm saying is, if
turn.
you believe in something, now is that opportunity for me. It's always been Bitcoin. And you guys know that it's always been Bitcoin on this channel. Sure, we dabble in altcoins, but when I talk about small percentages in my portfolio, I'm talking 1%, maybe 2% if I'm feeling bullish. Bitcoin is always the core holding, but let's dive in. Let's have a look. So currently, Bitcoin is bouncing off of the level. I'm actually incredibly surprised how it is bouncing off this level. Obviously, if you were looking to take a trade, this would have been the trade level to take, but I'm not going to tell you to do that because we really need to watch what the stocks are doing. See, right now they're flipping green, right? So this could be the opportunity right here. Not saying you should take that. We need to keep looking at what's going on right now because Bitcoin has literally touched the absolute bottom of its long-term support. This is the support that's been holding us since December of 2020. As you guys can see right here, the significance of this level. If we lose this level, guys, there's really not much. I mean, probably right here, right around that sort of $19,000, $20,000 level. There's a little level right here, actually, I'm sorry, around 24, but really not much more below that, guys. And you can see on the long-term trend, even though this is on the weekly, we really need Bitcoin to get back up to around $31,400. If it doesn't do that by the end of this week, then we have officially broken the structure. And this is what I started talking about in my video yesterday. The reason I'm bringing this up is because if we do go into these, these prolonged bear trends, they can last a while. Unless something crazy comes out, stocks pump, and the Fed stops raising rates. I don't know what could possibly happen, as far as what they're doing. But unfortunately, we are not seeing crypto as that sort of safety mechanism outside of even stocks or other investments, right? So it is sort of unfortunate to see this, but it also is a learning experience for everyone, including myself. I've never seen Bitcoin in this environment before either. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm some kind of expert. I've only ever seen Bitcoin in a scenario where stocks were going up and inflation was rising. I've never seen ever in my life, what happens when the Fed, tapers. I wasn't even interested in trading crypto back in 2008. All I wanted to do was party in college. Come on, that's all. So this is definitely something that we're going to learn. We're going to figure this out together. Now, I did point out right here, however, that there was this box right here. There was this CME futures gap. Now that gap is up at around 35,150. But I don't want to burst anyone's bubble here. But considering that we're already touching the $29,000 level, there actually is another CME gap that I never thought we were ever going to come back and touch. Well, we're getting close to it. And this CME gap, in order to close, we actually have to bring Bitcoin down to about $24,610. There's actually a few more gaps if we go lower, but I'm just going to sort of show you the ones that are close right now. So there is that possibility, right? Keep in mind that it could go either way. I still anticipate that we should see some kind of a bounce at these levels because even though we did fall this morning, look at this, guys, we are still being supported by this downward sloping trend. Now, this is obviously a short-term play, but I do anticipate that Bitcoin should at least make an attempt to come back up to these levels right here, which could put Bitcoin at around $37,000, right? We do have a little bit of overhead resistance as well, but one thing that I want to point out is that these Bitfinex longs are at the highest levels that they have ever been, or at least since they were able to be recorded. Now, just to kind of play devil's bullish advocate, if that makes any sense, you can see right here when we peaked, it was July 19th of 2021, right? You can see, and it's even higher than that right now. What happened on July 19th of 2021? Well, if we go back here, look at where July 19th was, right here at this absolute bottom. And then what did we do after that? Well, Bitcoin went from 30,000 all the way up to $70,000. I'm not saying the same thing is going to happen, but it's very interesting to see that the last time that we had the longs this high, we actually did see a major rally following that, right? In fact, it kind of danced around for like 2 days and then just started going parabolic. So is that what's going to happen today? We have to see, guys. Now, obviously, as you guys can see currently according to Binance, we do have UST trading at around 44 cents. Now, this was pretty crazy, guys. What happened? There was a lot of stuff. As you guys know, I've never actually talked about Luna on this channel ever. I've never mentioned this coin. I heard a lot of other people talking about it. Now, look, I'll be the first one to admit there was a lot of money that was made from the run up from here to the top. Okay, and maybe I did miss out on a lot of these gains. Okay, fair enough. We'll have to pay attention next time. But there was always this sort of thing about these algorithmic stablecoins. I've always been slightly cautious about them, which is why I was kind of afraid to really bring it up on the channel. And as you guys can see, there are a lot of people that are literally wrecked right now because of this. So before I actually move on to the news, I just wanted to say something super quick. Today's a little bit more of a rant video, as you guys can tell, but essentially, what I think is happening is people are realizing the risks that are involved, in especially these types of altcoins. Now, keep in mind, we're talking about an altcoin that was sitting at the number 10 position. Okay, so this was something that was supposed to be a blue chip. It was supposed to be a trusted, verified project, right? Had a lot of big backers in it, and even this can happen to a coin like Luna, which is getting back to why I say allocate to these altcoins as basically you can lose all your money risks. Essentially, like when I buy an altcoin, literally, I'm not kidding. I just assume that money's gone forever, literally, and that's why I own Doquan. And Alex Kruger said, too long, didn't read, not deploying more capital as stated, no bailout, no recovery plan, and no mea culpa. I'm not familiar with that phrase. After his mistakes blew up billions of dollars and destabilized the entire industry, could at least acknowledge the mistakes. And then there's this thing floating around from this guy, Ryun Sung, saying, FYI, I'm not suggesting it was a rug pull, but Doquan knew it was coming. Terraforms, labs dissolved. I don't know what this is all about, but that could just kind of add to that conspiracy. But I'll tell you what, guys, what we literally have just seen with the UST stablecoin, that.
Yeah.
Bother the bugs, not your family.
Alright, seems like his fingers are big,
oils, which attack bugs
but he's just about to go on a Jenny Yellen, so let's see what he's going to say about Yellen real quick, and then we move on to Chico Crypto. Do I want to do...
And then there's this thing around from this guy, Ryun Sung, saying, FYI, I'm not suggesting it was a rug pull, but Doquan knew it was coming. Terraforms, labs dissolved. I don't know what this is all about, but that could just kind of add to that conspiracy. But I'll tell you what, guys, what we literally have just seen with the UST stablecoin, that essentially opened the door for regulation. It truly did for stablecoins, and you can even see what Janet Yellen had to say right here.
Note that there was a report just this morning in the Wall Street Journal that a stablecoin known as Terra USD experienced a run and had declined in value. And, well, So I think that simply illustrates that this is a rapidly growing product, and that there are risks to financial stability, and we need a framework that's appropriate.
And just getting back to this, I have seen a lot of people saying like, oh, well, that's what you get for buying a shitcoin and all these other things. Look, at the end of the day, guys, I do feel for the people. Look, everyone going through this, there's some people that have actually lost their life savings, literally everything. They put everything into it. And while,
so if you have a bunch of money, UST was just your stable coin. You're like, yeah, it's a stable. It'd be like tons of tokens like that. USD, BUSD, USDT. I was gonna say USDT at first, and I just forgot that T. USDJ. You believe in one of these stable coins, and all of a sudden something happens, and it's like, damn.
Could be treated as our general unsecured creditors. In other words, when they eventually go bankrupt,
USDC.
I don't know what I just did right there. When they eventually go bankrupt, they will use your crypto to bail themselves out. Now, Brian Armstrong did reply to this and say there's some noise about our disclosure we made about how we hold crypto assets. Your funds are safe at Coinbase, just as they've always been. We have no risk of bankruptcy. However, we include a new risk factor based on an SEC requirement called SAB 121, which is newly required disclosure for public companies that hold crypto assets. So apparently he's just saying it's something you have to put in there. You have to say that, right? At the end of the day, though, guys, if you are worried about situations like this, what do I say? Not your keys, not your coins, right? So if you're worried about your Bitcoin being on, yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna make a judgment call on whether or not this is a true bounce because it's too early in the morning. Stocks just opened. Futures were green. Stocks came out, they dumped, then they flipped, and they went green. So ultimately, basically, is CPI getting better? I suppose 0.2%, whatever it is, but ultimately, it really wasn't good enough for what people really wanted to see, and they're not going to stop raising rates until we can see something more significant. They said that their goal is 2%. If we're not at 2%, there's absolutely no reason for the Fed to stop what they're doing. So it could continue pushing down stocks, pushing down crypto. And at the end of the day, if you are in over your head or you have too much money or you're afraid you're gonna lose it all, whatever, you're not gonna lose your Bitcoin. Trust me, Bitcoin is here to stay, my friends. It's proven the test of time, but it is going through some turmoil right now, as is the whole world, as is all the markets. It's not just crypto. It's not like, oh, they're just picking on the crypto people. No, guys, this is happening. Yeah. Show me the charts. I'll tell you the news. You know what I mean? Usually the news is just something to explain why what's happening is happening. The charts will tell you. And right now, the charts
this is why all markets are going down. All markets are going down because of the ridiculous amount of printing that the government, the Fed, and then just like the Fed has been doing for years. Like a lot of people finally got hip to like when Trump printed that like $40,000 because of the coronavirus, or 40%. People finally got hit, and then Biden continued it, and then that was reason enough for the Republican side of things to finally get hit. Conservative side of things, because then they could be like, haha, look who printed 40%, and like totally ignore that the other person just did it. But then another batch of people got hit. Now you have the conservatives that are finally hit. And previous to that, you had tech, like people that were really big into tech and finance that got hit. The liberals are still not hit. They still have no idea what the fuck's happening for the vast majority. They're just like, oh, the market's going down, I guess. We've never been wealthy to begin with. But now you got these two sectors of America, the conservatives and the tech-heavy people that are finally hip to the printing and stuff like that. But it's been happening before that 40% was printed in 1 year. Like all the years following up to that, we had just been staggeringly printing more and more and more and more money. For a while there, we were printing the same amount of money each year. It was like an average. Okay, we're gonna print about this much. And they give you reasons like, well, because some money needs to come out of rotation, we got broken bills and stuff like that, blah, 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 blah. And then they just started printing more. And it was like, well, why are we printing that much more? And then they started printing more than that the previous year before that. It's like, well, why are we printing that much? And it became like multiple X's more per year. And they kept doing it, and then Corona hit. And so it's like, look back at the history of how much was printed. Like, and that's not the easiest thing to find, but if you do the right searches, you're gonna find out how much money have been being printed over these courses of time. It's not a small amount. They like, why was it being printed like that? And where did the money go? The money went into stocks. It went into bonds, and that is why when you look at a stock or bond chart, it's like this. It looks like more bullish than Bitcoin. It looks more bullish than Bitcoin. It looks more bullish than Bitcoin because they were inflating the price, the cost of everything. So that's why if they, if you start hearing news about this administration and this and that, it's not as good as we like. Well, thank God, because we're finally letting things balance out some instead of just being on this fake money. That eventually it's got to end. It's got to end. What are we going to take? We're going to have 8 years of fake money getting printed that much higher and higher and higher and higher. That would have been that much worse, guys. Jesus Christ. Like, I can't even imagine if we would let it go that much, continue to double up and do 40. Hopefully we don't do any more 40%, but we'll see.
Hope that's not the type of content that will upset you guys on this channel, but if you are looking to trade, the trades are going to be shorting the bounces during a bear market. That's what you do. You short the bounces, as opposed to longing the support. So I'm not saying we're there yet. I'm not saying we need to start shorting. I don't know. But what I am saying is you will have to switch that mind frame because we are getting to those levels. Traditionally Bitcoin's been in a bear market since it was below 20%. I don't count that for Bitcoin. Bitcoin has 20 to 30% swings like breakfast.
True. What he's saying right there, though, I might have to look at PancakeSwap has a little prediction market.
Especially with Terra Luna.
Going for the shorts.
Do have the crypto rebound. I think you're going to see a lot of people realize that all the things that they were saying about Ethereum, even though Ethereum isn't as fast and it does have high gas fees, we don't really see these types of problems over on Ethereum. And obviously, I think it's just
going to be a giant advertisement for Bitcoin. And a lot of people that I know that have gone through bear markets, and I'm actually one of them too. I used to be all into altcoins. If you guys remember back in 2018, we were only talked about altcoins, and we did very well. We actually did very well because after the 2017
and then the market crashes, and you see the Bitcoin outperforms everything else.
But I personally held for too long. Right? I was way too convicted in these altcoins, and I watched some of my altcoins go to either break even or actually lower when they had been up like 50x. Right? So you just let the greed get to you, and that's what you don't want to do this time. And what ended up happening was you slowly start to realize that these altcoins are very speculative plays. Right? They are. That's why trying to get in early is the best. Right? If you can get in even on some of these sales, right before they even come out the exchanges, that's kind of like the safest time because you're kind of sort of almost guaranteed. Although I don't know in all cases, but for the most part, you do become more of a Bitcoin maxi. Now I've told people I'm not a Bitcoin maxi. I do hold still some altcoins. I do still hold altcoins right now, but it's nothing compared to my Bitcoin position. Unfortunately, the things to focus on right now would be Bitcoin and Tether, essentially, which even Tether is actually struggling with its peg a little bit at around 99 cents. But ultimately, at the end of the day, guys, everything will be all right. This too shall pass. If you need to take a break, step away, walk away, all good. I understand. At the end of the day, I still think that these markets are the best time for you to educate.
All right, that's from Crypto Zombie. We got Chico Crypto.
What is this
place? Crypto, Robert Kiyosaki.
Irish Spring, friend. Where stinkiness is unwelcome.
I'm gonna make sure it's actually hopping in the timeline.
Irish Spring. Smell from a nice smelling place.
I know, everything seems extremely bearish right now. The markets are suffering, capital is drying up, and confidence is at an all-time low. But diamonds aren't created in easy conditions, but under some of the most stressful and pressurized conditions known to man. This is true of diamond-handed traders as well. You gotta feel the pain before you get any gain. So are you ready to rough it out and get that diamond shined? Well, you don't really have a choice, because it's time for Chico Crypto. Since the end of 2020, December to be exact, Ethereum has been gaining major ground on Bitcoin. BTC dominated the markets, controlling over 71% of total market capitalization, while Ethereum controlled just 10%. Since then, Bitcoin dominance has fallen to about 42%, while Ethereum dominance has doubled to about 20% of total capitalization. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. Look at the top 3 Web3 coins, which will only become more dominant in the markets once the merge goes live. The merge is about proof of stake, so the first coin we are covering is the one and only decentralized staking pool for Ethereum. Now, to stake with Ethereum and run a node, there are some hefty requirements, which includes 32 Ether. With today's prices, that's an over $84,000 investment. For most people, that is out of reach, which means they can't use their ETH to gain yield and rewards from securing the Ethereum blockchain. But in comes pooling, which is combining different people's ETH together to fulfill the 32 ETH requirement. But many of the pooling coins and companies are centralized, meaning there is a single point of failure, which goes against the ethos of decentralization. But not with Rocket Pool. They've worked and built for years, creating the first decentralized staking pool for proof-of-stake Ethereum. Now, the beauty of staking with Rocket Pool is the boosted APRs validators receive, and for those who don't have enough Ethereum, people can contribute to a validator with just 0.01 of an ETH and earn yield for staking. Rocket Pool works like this. There is a creator of a validator mini pool, which only has to deposit 16 ETH into that pool. Then stakers fulfill the rest of the 16 ETH requirement by joining the mini pool, which can be hundreds of people depositing varying amounts of ETH, even just 0.01. As we can see from the Rocket Pool website, stakers who contribute to a validator's mini pool earn over 4% APR on their ETH, but the big rewards come in for being a mini pool operator. Checking out their Rocket Pool dashboard, we can see the average beacon chain return is 4.51% APR, yet when staking with Rocket Pool, this allows validators to earn 5.19% due to the extra commissions they receive. You also earn an APR and RPL tokens for staking with the mini pool. As we can see, average APRs for staking RPL is a boosted 13.42% APR, which if you stake just the minimum amount of RPL with your node, which is 147, you would earn an extra nearly 20 RPL tokens, which turns out to be 0.21 of an ETH. So who doesn't want those nice returns for their sitting idle ETH and RPL tokens? I sure know I do. Although setting up a mini pool through normal avenues requires technical knowledge and the use of command line. It's not hard and it's doable, but for newbies it can be way over their head. Luckily, Chico Crypto has an Avado, the plug-and-play blockchain computer for running nodes, making it easy to set them up. I bought my Avado all the way back in December of 2020, so I could solo stake on the Ethereum proof-of-stake network, which made it seamless and easy to get me earning the early ETH rewards. Avado now supports Rocket Pool mini pools, and I just want to show you how easy it is to get set up. First, you need to download Ethereum's main chain, which is Git, and Ethereum 2, the proof-of-stake chain, Teku or Prism. Since I'm already running, proved, and initialized in the next about 12 in Avado for making Web3 and node running easy, a link to buy is down in the description. I highly, highly recommend them. Now, I have 2 other node projects who are going to surge with the merge. But before we get into that, it's time for a sponsored segment of this video, brought to you by Router Protocol. And like always, currently clocking in as the fastest in the space. If you want Pocket Network is a decentralized API designed to help Web3 applications communicate with blockchain networks through an exhaustive network of over 46,000 nodes. Pocket provides RPC, remote procedure call access to the ever-growing list of blockchains, including Ethereum, Solana, Avalanche, Polygon, Gnosis Chain, and 9 a flat fee if you have multiple nodes. Now we are going to finish with a Web3 all-star whose existence is critical to almost every chain, DApp, and transaction across the blockchain ecosystems. That is the decentralized Oracle network, better known as Chainlink.
My God, what is that smell?
My Linky stays rather stinky! Link is so stink, every time I talk about it, I automatically get a poop face. You know what I'm talking about?
No flip, no cap, no mess.
Crypto,
just grab and squeeze. Try Don Easy Squeeze.
But he will short just as much
today
as he
for the
will.
Bitcoin price. And yes, this is quite a surprising live episode about the Bitcoin price, about what is happening right now for Bitcoin. And if you are looking into the charts, if you have a phone or something, pull it up, and you will know why I'm doing this live emergency episode, the first live video since a very long time. Let's talk about that. You know that I am having myself open like hundreds of thousands of US dollars in long positions of Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is right now, in this moment, of course, we want to talk about what is going to happen in the immediate future for Bitcoin as well. Right now, in this moment, let me go into it. Approaching the previous low. This is what I talked about. Let me show you quickly. This is what I talked about, my worst case scenario. And we are approaching it right now. The question, of course, is, Am I wrong? Is this not the worst case? Is Bitcoin actually going to break the bottom? 28,800 I've been time and time again mentioning as my worst case scenario, and now we are on the verge and still having rumors coming in. Terra Luna has to liquidate. It's going down, this and that. Let's talk about it. Let's keep everything level-headed. Let's stay like cold in emotions when it's coming about to the price, and let's talk about what is going to happen to Bitcoin, what is right now happening. Let's evaluate the status quo, and let's not go crazy, go on Twitter and like scream around, it's over, Bitcoin is going to roll over. Let's go into the chart. Someone is saying you were wrong. Well, in fact, at this moment, not yet. It is possible that I was wrong, but at this moment, I'm actually exactly right. Right? I mean, we are not below 28,800, but of course, I will not be too proud to admit that I was wrong. If we are breaking lower, if my trade is going to be liquidated, which it is not, I'm approximately at break even or so right now. So let's talk about the Bitcoin price. And wow, we have almost 4,000 people joining this video already. What you can do right now, please, guys. I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking for like that you go and work out or do whatever. I don't know. The only thing I'm asking for, please, guys, go down below, take a second out of your day, smash up the like button, please. And if you want to take it further, you don't have to. Share the video with your friends on WhatsApp, on Telegram, on Twitter. It would be amazing to get everyone here, or like at least as many people as possible, into this live stream, as I couldn't imagine any more important point of time in the last 2 or 3 years. We are right now approaching the bottom, the last resort, the last, very last support we could imagine. I mean, let me go into it here. I was just posting it over on Twitter. Do you see this? We hit it in 2021. We hit it in June actually here, right? 2021, and now we are hitting it again. This is what I exactly mentioned to be my worst case scenario. Let me actually go over here to my Twitter account, and if I am going back, I was posting this very interesting fractal for Bitcoin before I actually go into some much more serious and much more important things, because we have a death cross coming, we have a lot of things happening, right? This is what I wanted to show you. This tweet here, I posted 4 days ago. Interesting Bitcoin fractal. I posted it also like 2 months ago already, where we had a breakdown in 2017, in 2019, and in 2020, a triple bottom with consecutively higher lows, right? And right now, of course, the question is this going to happen again? I posted it at 36. I actually posted it at 48,000 also as my worst case scenario 2 months ago. Now we are getting not only close, we are there already. This I posted 4 days ago, right? If we are going to the charts, this is exactly the level where we are right now. And yes, Bitcoin is bouncing, and yes, so far I was actually exactly right. I'm not saying I'm going to stay exactly right, but so far, my worst case scenario perfectly hitting. We went down and we are getting a bounce. Now I want to tell you, of course, one of the most important rules in trading is, and by the way, I'm here really in a beautiful house in Mallorca. Very, very beautiful. Nice nature. One of the most important rules in trading is, one of the most important, that the more often we are testing support, the more likely it is to be broken. The more often we are testing resistance, the more likely it is to be broken. So now this support, this yellow zone I was posting, this very important, basically 2-year support for Bitcoin, we've been testing it multiple times already, right? We've been testing it in 2020, the first time beginning, end of 2020, 2021 in summer. We are testing it right now, and of course, the more we are testing it, this demand zone, which is crazy. I talked about it before. I mentioned Elon Musk, Michael Saylor, I even mentioned Terra Luna, was buying a lot of Bitcoin at these prices. Specifically, Elon Musk, MicroStrategy, Tesla, they were buying a lot of Bitcoin exactly at these prices, and this is one of the reasons why I'm personally not predicting, or why I was not predicting that the price will go below these very important levels. And so far, we are not going below, as far as I can see, and I am still sticking with that. I mean, I'm having my trade open. You know, I opened the trade on Bybit at $303,000 position, on Bybit a long position at a 9x leverage, and the liquidation price is around 27,500 or so. My entry price is at $30,500, so slightly underwater at this point of time. What I want to tell you is, and if this trade gets liquidated, I'm definitely going to put limit long orders all the way down to 21. 21 is actually the price where MicroStrategy is going to get a margin call because of their huge position. That is, this one doesn't hold. Then I don't know, because it never ever happened in history that we are breaking below the previous bull market high. But anyway, the lower we go, the more Bitcoin you get for your dollar, if you have any dollars, and I can tell you, my bank accounts are almost empty, right? This is something I want to tell you, and I'm still having a smile on my face, so maybe you can be happy as well. Someone is saying you said 31. Well, my area is between, it's a big area, right? This is something you do, and then you're like more likely to be right. I have to admit. But my buy zone area is between 29 and 33, right? I know it's a big area, but it's just on the VPVR and also on the OTC markets, the area where the most volume was traded, right? 29 to 33, and this is exactly where I was taking my prediction from. Someone is saying Luna crash. I will go back to Bitcoin very shortly. Just a quick excursion about Luna. It's crazy. I feel so sorry for everyone who had Luna, and I was myself. Let me quickly see. CryptoJack, hey my man, CryptoJack, big shout out to you. I was myself actually thinking a couple of weeks, a month ago, to buy Luna, and it was just going up and up and up, and I thought, wow, interesting concept. Didn't dig too much into it. Maybe if I would not like it. I don't know. I thought, interesting concept. Maybe I should buy. All my friends making money with it, and I thought, you know what? The train left. I'm not gonna buy, and it was going higher. I was constantly like, I don't want to say regretting, but I was like, man, I should have bought. Now I'm happy that I didn't, but I know many people who did, and I feel very sorry with them, because this project, it was a great project, right? I mean, I loved it, and they were buying more and more Bitcoin. Like, all right,
now from one of the 1%.
Download the Domino's app today and
Robert
become a piece of the high
Kiyosaki
rewards
is a
member to earn
1%er.
points toward free pizza.
This is one of the wealthiest men.
This is the Rich Dad Radio Show. The good news and bad news about money. Here's Robert Kiyosaki.
Hello, Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Radio Show. The good news and bad news about money. And today's
author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, one of the best-selling financial books of all time.
Crypto is taking over the world. And I was just on my phone to my gold and silver dealer, and I still own gold and silver, and I bought a lot of crypto. But it's a very important subject that we need to be aware of. And once again, Rich Dad, we don't recommend anything, but we just do our best to give you the information so you can make your own decisions. So our guest today is Jeff Wang. He's a contributor to the Rich Dad Crypto newsletter, and he's the host of Rocket Fuel Crypto, and he's an authority on it. And the thing is, he's come from the communist. I just left the Communist Republic of Hawaii, and Jeff just left the Communist Republic of San Francisco, or the city of San Francisco. And I'm moving out of Hawaii. It's that bad. I mean, I can't stand it. I love the island, I love the beauty, I love the people, but the government has gone so far woke left, it's hard to live there. And so Jeff just moved out of San Francisco, which is possibly the most beautiful city in America. And I got my first job on 555 Market Street, San Francisco, and he had to leave San Francisco. So I think we'll start with that, Jeff. So Jeff, welcome to the Rich Dad Radio Show, and thank you for hosting the Rich Dad Crypto newsletter.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
So why did you move from San Francisco, possibly the most beautiful city in the world?
Well, I just had a family, and we were deciding whether or not it was kind of safe even to just walk around at night, and decided to move farther south in the peninsula. So, yeah.
So what caused you to think it was getting dangerous or not safe? What are the things?
I think things might have gone too progressive. There was the new DA. They were experimenting with not putting people to jail, and next month there's a recall election for him. So I think things are starting to correct back to the center. But right now it has gotten a little bit out of hand.
Yeah, I just cannot believe how whacked out these guys are on the left. I don't know what that means, but Also, the Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris, is from the same area, and we all know how she got to the top. So that's what I like about how progressive these progressives are.
Yo, I'm gonna have to say,
going on with crypto, because
there is no way that San Francisco is one of the most, like, if you're gonna consider, like, if you've actually been to a bunch of United States cities, San Francisco is not the most beautiful city. That thing is fucking dry as hell. Like, they trying so hard to make that look nice. It's okay. It look okay. It's not.
You know, for full disclosure, I have, to me, it's considerable, but I had to buy it at 6,000, and then the next lot I bought was around 9,000, and I had to wait from it. I think it hit 20,000 at one time.
You been to an East
and it
Coast
retraced down
city?
to like 1,000, and I had to watch to see if it was going to rebound. Basically, I traded it, and today it's coming down from I don't know what, but I'm going to get ready to start buying again. But it has to go a little bit
southern
lower.
city?
So everybody says crypto is in a bear market or Bitcoin is in a bear market. And so is the stock market, and so is the bond market. That's why this Rich Dad's radio show is a very important show.
Pacific Northwest
to
city?
figure out what is going on in the marketplace. So why is Bitcoin in a bear market?
You know, it's funny, crypto over the years has gotten closer and closer to being extremely correlated with the stock market, and particularly growth stocks. So if you look at NASDAQ, it's down 21% year to date. Bitcoin's actually outperformed that. It's only down 17% year to date. Although if you look at like S&P 500, it's actually not outperforming that. It's only down 30%, right? So even though stock markets and crypto are in a bear market, you can see crypto is very tightly correlated with like the tech stocks.
Correct. And you know, I don't know anything about it, so that's why thank you for writing the Rich Dad Crypto newsletter. Another question I have as a guy who knows nothing about this field, except I have a lot of money in it. How come there's so many thousands of cryptos?
One thing that's happening over the past 2 years is a rebranding of crypto. So instead of thinking of it as just a form of currency, people are thinking of it as a platform to create apps, to run different membership like companies on even, and that whole umbrella is called Web3. So if you think about Web2 is kind of like you can interact with the website, right? Web3 is like the platform is public, anybody can develop on it, and anybody can interact with it. So think of it, all these cryptocurrencies as representations of like a public computer that people can go and visit and carry themselves and their identities to each of these different public computers. So it's a little bit high level, but I'll stop there.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of what we call it the .com era. You know, back around 2000, everybody had a .com company. You know, it was just this .com and that .com. And everybody was chasing these .com companies, and it all came crashing down. So do you think that's going to happen to all these new crypto coins or whatever they are?
I think crypto will continue to remain correlated with growth stocks, but there's so many funds being raised and so many billions of dollars waiting on the sidelines to fund innovation in the space. So if you bring enough smart people and you bring enough money to any category, you're going to see some really good things come out of it. And you know, obviously the hard part is keeping up to date with the rapidly changing environment. I mean, over the last year we've seen like 3 bull and bear market cycles with different innovations coming out and then kind of fading back. But there are a lot of promising things that have come out that are actually actively being used. And the big difference this time is there is a connection to the real world. So there's 2 things that are something I want to talk about. One is the off ramps and on ramps. So actually using the crypto you use, right, to swipe a card to earn interest on it. You can, like, for example, borrow money against getting a car loan, then depositing it into crypto, earning an interest rate on a stable coin, and then getting a free car essentially, because the rate of return of the interest is greater than the monthly payments you need for the car. So these are things that you teach, but in different formats. You buy a home, you get rental income, and eventually you pay off the home, right? So these are like things that are happening in the real world, are getting digital representations on in crypto, and that's called DeFi or decentralized finance.
I understand. The question was how many will survive in the next 10 years?
Right now, there's a big difference because they're stable coins. Stable coins have widely propagated throughout crypto now, and these are just $1 coins, right? They don't change in value. So now there's a safe haven to park your money where it won't go against market forces, and yet you can still earn interest on it.
Wait a minute. How can you call it a safe haven when we don't even know what it is?
A stable coin, there's multiple ways to do it, and some are safer than others.
I understand. So how would you know that?
Again, this is about like how much education you have in the space and how much you research each entity, right? Some stable coins are completely backed by the amount of coins they have. Some are algorithmically stable, right? They can burn and mint, and then the coins stay at $1. And of course, there are always situations where you have hacks or exploits, right? But the main thing to know is there are places to park money in crypto that are safe, that are not going to move against the market forces.
Jeff, one of the reasons I have gold coins, I mean real gold coins and real silver coins, is there's no counterparty risk. You know what I mean? They are the money. So when you say there's a dollar, somebody declares it $1 and all that, who's the counterparty? Is the Wizard of Oz?
This is very technical, but there are ways to maintain the stability of a coin pegged against any other asset.
So how would you recommend somebody like me, who can barely use a cell phone, figure out who the counterparty is? Like I said, is it the Wizard or is it Joe Biden or Kamala?
Right now, that's one of the biggest issues with crypto. Is it's really technical. Yeah, and people like you, it's very hard for you to get into crypto because there's so many steps. Like you don't want to open a crypto account on some random website and then move the coins to a wallet and then interact with the Web3 website, right? So there are different products coming out right now where it's as simple as sending a bank transaction and then it's all done for you. Yeah, crypto.com, we're doing the same thing there. You just get a card, deposit money, and then you handle the crypto part on the side, right? So I think in the next year you're going to see the simplification of the protocol versus like the real world, and again, that's a huge difference than what it was like even a few months ago. A few months ago, people still go to Coinbase, they have to buy coins and send it to a wallet and then send it to a website, right? Those days are coming very close to an end.
So don't you think there's a lot of smoke and mirror and BS floating around in there?
No, not if you understand the technology.
So wait, this is one. Will all the coins survive?
No, 99% of the coins will probably be worthless, right? So there are very few coins that are actually building real assets and real value and actual market fit. But all the other coins are just cash grabs, right? They're just copies and clones of each other. So it's very important to know which coins are the real life, trying to do something for the world coins, and what are the projects that are just there just to make money.
Sounds like a lot of con job to me. That's what I say. But listeners out, there's a thing called counterparty risk. You know, there's nobody else behind the gold coin. There's no Wizard of Oz, no smoking mirrors. The other thing I like about gold and silver coins is that, as you know, in this cyber warfare, if they knock out our electronic systems, coins disappear too. But if let's say the Russians fire up an EMP, EMF, one of those things, bombs go off, they knock out the grid. Gold and silver stays there. So that's kind of that's want to give people the differences on this whole thing. And I still own quite a bit of Bitcoin and Ethereum, but I'm waiting for the price to come down before I buy more, take another position in both Bitcoin and Ethereum. I just want people to know that, to don't think, because I get promoted all the effing time. You gotta get in on this one, or you gotta get in on that one. This one's gonna go to the moon. You know, I'm an old man. I've heard this bullshit so many times over all these years in real estate, stocks, You know, and that's why we have the Rich Dad Radio Show. It's not to promote anything, but the idea of understanding what's good and what's bad about something. So how does a person find out more? I mean, so for somebody like me, it's best I not get into it because I'm not tech savvy at all.
I think one thing to know is anytime you have a new technology and a lot of opportunity, you're going to see a gold rush. No pun intended, we just said, but a lot of people are going to rush in. They're going to create something that may or may not work, and people are going to speculate. So what's happening right now is there's a ton of money just coming in as speculation. You see the Gen Z people just like see other people get rich and they want to dive into, right? They see like Dogecoin go up and like, oh my gosh, I got to get it to go to the moon. But that's not driven by actual technology or actual product like market fit or actual value, right, in the real world. So that's the hard part is figuring out where the value comes and where the product market fit is versus how can I make money on it, right? Because if you focus on what value it brings to the world, then that's the difference.
So I'm an old guy. How would I start?
I mean, this is why we have Rich Dad Crypto, right? This is for people to understand each of these projects, what they want to bring to the world.
Okay.
But they're obviously like it's so much going on in the space, it moves so fast that you do have to keep track. But we try to simplify things, obviously, for those that just want to read it for once a month.
Good. So I'll let everybody know that we're not recommending it, and I'm very cautious right now because I get promoted all the time. You know, this coin will go to the moon. I'm going, well, else will disappear.
Yeah, we can focus on the kind of the technology, the economic backdrop, even the political forces right now that are happening. We don't need to focus on like specific coins and why they go to the moon or not. That's not the intent.
Wouldn't you say, Jeff? Wouldn't you say that's the same as real estate? Everybody's jumping into real estate right now. You got to be crazy. You know, why would you buy at an all-time high? I'm not talking about real estate specifically. So anyway, that's where. So when we come back, we're going to be talking more to Jeff Wang. He's a contributor to the Rich Dad Crypto newsletter. I'm doing my best to warn people that I've seen this rodeo before. It was in real estate and was on this stock and that stock. It was the .com company, you know, Pets.com, which disappeared, and all of this stuff. And I'm being promoted all the time. I want you to endorse this coin. This friend of mine wanted me to endorse a coin, and I had no idea. She said, but we're friends. Just endorse it so people will come in. I'm going, you've got to be kidding me. So she and I are no longer friends. How dare you ask me to promote something that you can't see? So we'll be back. We'll be talking more about how to understand this thing. I think crypto is here to stay, so we best learn as much as we can. So we'll be right back.
This episode is brought to you by 8 Sleep. Good sleep is the ultimate game changer and nature's best medicine. Consistent good sleep can help reduce the likelihood of serious health issues, decrease the risk of heart disease, lower blood pressure, and even reduce the risk of Alzheimer's. Yet, still more than 30% of Americans struggle with sleep, and temperature is one of the main causes of poor sleep. In Arizona, where I live, it can get hot. However, now I'm falling asleep in record time, faster than I have before, all thanks to my 8 Sleep Pod Pro cover. The Pod Pro cover by 8 Sleep is the most advanced solution on the market for thermal regulation. It pairs dynamic cooling and heating with biometric.
As to why markets are moving the way they are, but we also get into details like NFTs and how to get involved with those, and obviously that's a whole other segment, a whole other thing we talk about in the future. As different Web3 technologies come up, we bring them up.
I get pitched on NFTs also. I'm going, you gotta be kidding me. But that's the world we live in, and that's why we have the Rich Dad Radio Show, and that's why we have the Rich Dad Crypto newsletter. So can we talk about this guy Biden, who I trust as far as nowhere. He's going to bring out central bank cryptocurrency or something like that. What do you know about that?
Yeah, actually, the central bank digital currency, CBDCs, are kind of popping up all over the world. China was one of the first ones to do it. Mexico just proposed last week. They're going to have one in 3 years. So there are pros and cons to CBDCs. So the pros is actually it's a better technology, instant settlement. You don't need like the create banks. Actually, you actually can take things out of the picture, which is kind of bad in some aspects too. But the negatives is there's going to be greater transparency for the government. People have to probably KYC into any account they make. That everything you transact is visible to the government. So these things are like what the public doesn't want, right? So how do you outweigh like the pros and cons? Like I'll give you an example in China. So there are methods in China where you can deposit into private wallets, very low amounts though, where you can send without the government seeing you. But in general, the government can see everything you do. Otherwise, if you have any large amount transacted, they know exactly who's sending to who. So that's kind of the summary of CBDCs. But we can go over like the executive order and other aspects of it too.
So my concern, I'm a layman, I know nothing because I barely, Sarah's set up my cell phone every day because I get confused in there. But the thing I heard is what you just kind of mentioned here. Isn't a central bank crypto, isn't that Big Brother surveillance? They can watch what you're doing?
Yes. So if you let's just take an example right now today. If I'm sending money to you, Jeff is sending money to Robert. I'm going through a bank, another third-party company or source that has your assets, right? What actually happens is when I send the money to you, we have to wait a day or two for the money to settle with the Fed, right? To get all the books, and even within the bank, the books all settle. So it's a very, very old technology. It takes multiple days. It's actually very inefficient and very expensive to run. Right. So what the CBDC is trying to do is make sure you have a copy of the ledger, or we're interacting with a copy of the ledger, and when we send money to each other, both ledgers are updated, and that's it. Every other ledger is updated. So there's actually no other. We don't have to wait 24 hours for a settlement. We don't have to check with the Fed if that's the actual balance. It's all instant. So I think there's two things that we monitor there. One is that it was instant, the technology better, but two is you're right. The government can see that I have sent you the exact amount of money to Robert, right? So like that is something that people are not as comfortable about.
I'm very uncomfortable with that because not that I do anything illegal, and not that I would admit it if I did it, but I just don't like the government knowing what's in my wallet and where I'm spending it and what I'm doing with it. So one of the reasons I recommend gold and silver coins is if I want to pay you money, I just give you the silver coins, not traceable. I kind of like that. And then if the power grid shuts down, you still have my little silver coin. That's your silver coin now. Anyway, so how do you guys reconcile that in your heads about the possibility of Big Brother watching, or George Orwell, I think, wrote that book?
I mean, that's kind of the reason why crypto is there, right? Because it doesn't require any relation to the government. And that's kind of why governments are acting all around the world, actually, due to the Russia-Ukraine conflict, to kind of figure out what crypto is, how do you regulate it, how do you enforce it, what are the restrictions people should have when they take crypto and send it to each other, right? So this is like actively happening. Crypto is completely separated from the world financial system. And because of that, even the central bank digital currencies aren't really going to pose any control if people can just use this decentralized version of money, right?
So that brings up my next question. What I hear about that is, what makes you think the government will allow individual private bitcoins or cryptos to operate?
That's the thing about crypto. As long as you have a piece of paper that has a string of text in a certain combination, that is your wallet. You can send money and receive money off of it. Obviously, you have to go through some sort of node, but that means that anybody in the world can receive money and anybody can send money, and that's completely disconnected from any government.
So you're saying the government will not touch it?
The only thing the government can do is monitor where the money is coming off the ramp, right? So if I ever convert crypto into USD, I need to convert it somewhere, and I need to deposit it somewhere, right? Obviously, that's not always the case. Maybe there's off-ramps that directly go to some other country, but the point is, the government, what they're going to try to do, their strategy, is to make sure anytime money converts from crypto to USD, that is monitored, and then if USD ever comes off of that platform, the government must know who that came from, right? Otherwise, in between, it's completely up in the air, although it is like transparent on the blockchain.
Yeah, there's a guy named Meyer Amschel Rothschild who said, "I care not who makes the rules, just let me control the money." So since I was a little kid at 9 years old studying money, I realize the only people that control money are governments, tyrants, and despots. And so that's the Federal Reserve Bank and the U.S. Treasury. And one of the reasons I have gold and silver and bitcoins is because I don't trust the government, I don't trust the Fed, I don't trust the Treasury. So my question is, how long do you are you trying to say that the government will never be able to stop Bitcoin?
The government will never be able to stop Bitcoin. They can only control the conversions to USD.
Until I convert to dollars, but as long as I stay up.
They said, here's our Ethereum wallet, please. There's an exact science behind how much crypto.
How did they develop the coin to send, or the money to send? Where did it come from?
Some people have purchased it, or they've made it off of other transactions. But it's not minted out of thin air from nothing. There is a protocol that has a specific percentage of inflation.
I understand. To me, Jeff, I'm glad you write for the Rich Dad Crypto newsletter, but the old guys like me go, this is more smoke and mirrors, this is more Wizard of Oz. You look behind the scenes there. What did that money come from? That's my question. As an old guy, and I still own Bitcoin. I'm waiting it to go drop down to 20K, and I'll probably start buying some more. But I actually had to sell, rent from my apartment buildings. I had to sell oil, and I actually had to sell gold and silver. So there was actually something tangibly produced. And the question I'm kind of asking you, where does Bitcoin or Ethereum or Dogecoins or NFTs come from?
I think the reason why there is value is because you can see exactly how many of those coins are in circulation.
I understand that, Jeff. Where did it come from?
It's digital, right? It's digital scarcity.
Did somebody make it up?
Yeah, well, when they created Bitcoin, they said there's going to be 21 million total Bitcoin, right? And then you can only have a certain amount mined, right?
So I can start the Kiyosaki coin and say, well, I'm going to make up 18 million?
Yeah, but people have to use it, right? For that, people have to transact in it.
I understand.
That has value, right?
I sell oil for my money. What do you guys sell? That's what I want to know.
I think the disconnect here is why the coin has value versus the demand and supply, right? So there's always a demand and supply element to everything we just talked about with oil, with gold, with Bitcoin, right?
No, hold it. There's a use to it. People pump it into their gas tanks, right? Not Tesla cars, but oil is used for fertilizer, to provide food and all this stuff. I'm just putting you on the hot spot here because it's a question I have, and I'm more doing it for the Rich Dad readers. And I trade Bitcoin, but I don't think it has any value. I just play the game, and so I want to know how young guys like you can sit there and say, oh, it's only 21 million, but where'd they come from?
I think the where it comes from is clear, right? It's just part of the protocol. But where the value is actually the argument then, because it's simply a decentralized money, right? And then your question is, where is the value of decentralized money? But we just talked about how the government has complete oversight and they're going to create a central digital currency and they're going to control our money, right? So there is value in some sort of decentralized money and decentralized computer, right? You can write apps on this as well. So I think that's where the disconnect is.
I understand. People are cleaning my office building right now, so I'm not going to pay them in crypto. I'm going to pay them in USD. But they're actually doing something for my business.
Well, so crypto can be swapped immediately into USD, so you didn't get paid in crypto. It's the same.
I think you guys really don't get it from the old guys like me. Like I say, I own several $1 million worth of Bitcoin and Ethereum. I still don't know where it came from, but I'm saying
if you want to do transactions,
I think
I feel like the disconnect, like what I would say if I was Jeff, is like if you want to be able to do these transactions where the government cannot just impede on the transactions, you have to use Bitcoin, and somebody is paid Bitcoin. The person who validates the transactions is being paid in Bitcoin. And so that's the other use for Bitcoin. That's otherwise where it gets its value from, is because it costs you a little bit of money to send that transaction, small fraction, but it costs you something to send that transaction, and that's going to somebody else who's validating it. And so that's where that money is coming from. It's like, it's working itself around, but it's created its own economy. It is doing something.
It's even more crazy is the younger generation, Gen Z, puts value into game assets. So buying a costume for their character or buying a skin for a weapon, they pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars for that, right? So from my perspective, being a millennial, I'm wondering why are they willing to pay that much money for those assets, right? And that's starting a whole other category in Web3, which is like the GameFi space.
I'd like to ask you, if you're going to write the next Rich Dad Crypto, if you could kind of put that in there, where's the tangible value? That's kind of my question. I trade this stuff. Like, I think the US dollar is fake as hell. I just think it's a piece of crap. That's why I own gold and silver. I'd rather have something tangible. And I'd rather have oil. And I'd rather have fertilizer. Because they do something. I'd rather pay somebody for their labor because they've done something.
All right, I'll give one last attempt, and this is the more technical answer that I was trying to avoid. But coins like Bitcoin, you use to pay fees on the platform. Coins like Ethereum, you use as gas to deploy contracts and to also pay fees for transactions. So every time data is written onto the platform, it requires the asset of the cryptocurrency itself. So that's where the initial value comes from. Now, when you talk about where does the dollar come from, that's just the supply and demand of people that are willing to buy off the crypto exchange. That's a different demand, right? The demand that comes from me using the platform and writing code on the platform and running apps on the platform is a separate currency, right? But it is the same currency.
The US dollar comes from debt. It's printed. I mean, it just basically doesn't exist. That's why all these years, that's why the Rich Dad Company was formed and all that. And people don't know what the US dollar is. It's called the fractional reserve system. I put in a dollar's savings in the bank, and the bank can lend out 10. That's where dollars come from. It's on debt. And then there's guys like Dave Ramsey who say live debt free, and there's people like Rich Dad who say there's good debt and bad debt, and you have to know how to use debt to acquire assets. So we're actually converting something that is printed out of nothing, the dollar, to create assets like real estate or gold or silver or oil. So that's kind of my old man's logic. But anyway, I appreciate the discussion, and keep up. Please write something about that for the old guys like me and the Rich Dad Crypto. I appreciate it. And as people are jumping. And I remember when the .com came out, there was pets.com and all that stuff. I'm going, what happened to them? So anyway, that's why I had the Rich Dad Radio Show. We sell nothing, we recommend nothing, but we give everybody a chance to explain.
Even when Robert was just talking about the fact that the United States runs on, like, the dollar is on debt, why is it like to explain that debt point? You had to say that you put a dollar in the bank. Now, why would you put a dollar in the bank? Not just so that it's safe, but so that people can transact with it, so that the government so the bank can transact with it, so that it can be transacted with. But you put that dollar there, and then it can be transacted with on a larger scale, and they basically leverage that data. And cryptocurrency works in a similar way, except there's no leverage. They're not leveraging it. It's like you want to be able to, somebody has to validate the transactions, and if you want to be able to validate these transactions, you don't have to put your money anywhere for the transactions to be validated. You can just send the transaction, and we're going to take a small percentage of that, straight up. No BS.
You can. So you can listen to the Rich Dad Radio program anytime, anywhere on iTunes, Android, and YouTube. Please leave us a review. All of our programs are archived at richdad.com. We archive it so that you can listen to us again, because if you listen to this program again, you'll pick up a little bit more. But more importantly, you can share this program with your friends. So go to richdadradio.com, listen to this program again, and then get into an argument. A discussion. So that's what we have. Rich Dad, we're a purely educational company. We don't recommend a damn thing. So, Sarah, what did you think?
Well, you call it giving you a hard time, but I really think, he represents the brand. He represents Rich Dad. He's front-facing to a lot of our crypto customers. So here's the thing, and why I appreciate you pushing him, is that it forces him to keep it simple. It forces him to explain it in simple terms, because, like you said, old guys, don't understand, and they're set on hard assets or, whatever. So I think it's an interesting perspective. I think it really forced him to try to explain it as simple as possible, and that's what we're all about.
Well, he says, I'll just send you a line of code.
And that's what crypto is.
Yeah. It's the same thing as a fractional reserve system. Let's say the fractional reserve is 10. That means you trundle down to the bank, you bust your ass, you pay taxes, and you have $1 left. It probably takes you $10 to make that $1, because the taxes and all of this stuff. You deposit your dollar in the bank, your trusty bank, and they lend it out 10 times.
Right.
So where did the other $9 come from? As a little kid, I'd sit there and go, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This.
All right, it's 4x time, so I'm going to actually end this stream very quickly. End this Spaces. Thank you for joining us. It's been your boy, MMG Smurf here, and we're about to turn it over to a drip space. It's one of my first drip spaces. I kind of want to do this, and so I'm trying to. Oh, I'm a little late though. How long have they been going? Yeah, but thanks for joining us. See you guys on the next one. Your boy MMG Smurf. Oops. We out.